Welcome to Long Beach, California, where the 57th Annual Congressional Cup continues. We are into the business end of this regatta, the semifinals, the top four. Hi, everyone. I'm Tucker Thompson, joined by Josh Wijan and Pearson Potts. And Josh, let's begin with you. Tell us about our four semifinalists who have made it to this far in the Congressional Cup.
Yeah, so Taylor Canfield had the Long Beach favorite, had a very dominant round robin, and he went on to he got to choose who he would race against in the semifinal, and he chose his fellow American Chris Poole, which leaves the other matchup to be Ian Williams versus Yanni Bernsen.
All right, so it's going to be an exciting day this afternoon, but before we get into the racing today, let's take a look at how things went down yesterday to get to this point. The third day of competition at the 57th Congressional Cup in Long Beach, California, and it was high drama, with the top four places at stake in the semifinals, while 6 teams are due to be eliminated. Going into the day, Taylor Canfield's Stars and Stripes Team USA had a clear lead after the first round-robin series, focused on winning their 6th Crimson Blazer. But the competition here, of course, is at the highest level. Canfield and his team showed why they are the reigning World Match Racing Tour champions, losing just one race in the second round robin, and that was to Great Britain's Ian Williams, a rivalry that has seen little love between them after so many years on the circuit and has witnessed some epic battles. But Canfield finished the day with 15 victories in all, losing only 3 and earning a top spot in the semifinals. That gave the Brits a real lift, showing their many years of experience. Williams charged through the afternoon series, scoring win after win, only faltering slightly, losing to Sweden's Yanni Bernsen and Australia's Harry Price. But he still came through in second place to qualify with a solid 12 points. Former Congressional Cup winner Yanni Bernsen knows these Catalina 37s well, and despite his half-a-point penalty deduction yesterday after colliding with Canfield, he still finished with 11.5. All right, folks. Well, we're going to cut that short, and it's for good reason. The race committee has sped things up, and the racing has already gotten underway on to the pre-start with 3 minutes, 25 seconds to go. Match number 1 is going to see Ian Williams against Yanni Bernsen. Both boats are already on port tack, luffing up above the signal boat. Now, I want to bring Pearson in. You sailed the Congressional Cup. You looked at these conditions, but the breeze wasn't coming from this direction. What do you make of this new breeze direction?
Tucker, it's a sporty day out here. We got breeze coming in from the hard right. It is sporty out here. We got gusting at least at 20, and the teams are fired up. We're probably looking for a bit of a shift coming in on the right side. But the teams will try to maybe use this right side, and the pier itself is maybe an obstruction, sort of use that towards their advantage. Okay.
And, Josh, do you think that means that the boats are going to be fighting for the right-hand side on the starting line?
I'd say so, and generally speaking, when the wind is up, when there's more wind like there is now, this is uprange for these boats for sure. It throws the advantage to the right-hand boat on the line because you can hold your lane without being gassed as you come off the line a lot easier there.
Now, last question before we get back into the racing here. Would you want to lead or push as we're on board with Williams?
I would say, Tucker, that these guys are so good that each of them want to lead every time. Leading is harder, but leading is stronger. No matter what, these guys are always trying to lead because they know their length and width. They know their time and distance.
Staying deep.
But honestly, you never know.
Leading from here, guys. Leading from here.
That's spoken like a true lawyer. Thank you very much.
Onboard audio there from Williams saying he's leading from here. 1 minute 50 to go. Both boats turning up towards the start-finish line. They're just out to the right-hand side of the start box. You can see the start boat just in the top right side of screen there.
Williams left of your screen. Bernsen going in for the hook, pushing from behind. We're early for the line, gentlemen.
1 minute 30 to go.
Going to be back down.
Watch Bernsen here. He's got some serious guts. He's not afraid to swing that wheel everywhere. He knows his length and width. He's going to swing it all over the place.
Just inches separating the two teams. The transom of Ian Williams, the bow of Yanni Bernsen, both former Congressional Cup winners. One will move on into the finals. This is the first to win 3 best-of-5 semifinal match. The top 4 in the Congressional Cup coming up on 1 minute.
Here we go. Here, Bernsen is locked to windward. They're making their final approach. Tucker, my heart is pounding just watching it.
Well, you can hear Ian Williams. We got to build, so he knows he's a little bit late. Look at him bending forward, wheeling the boat to get going faster to the line. Clock ticking down, less than 40 seconds to go.
Language warning there from on board with Ian.
We are lower faster. Okay, hi, we need to get up to this.
35 seconds to go. Currently, Bernsen in a controlling position of the start. We're going to see the jib come down.
Back up, back up. Oh, it's fucking faster than us.
No jib down, sorry, just a luff. Oh, there we go.
Seconds from the line. Leeward boat is Williams. He's got rights. Bernsen is bow forward. Ian Williams is going to be late, and he knows that he's trying to stop the game up. We've got 10 seconds to go.
A lot of screaming.
Get the boat down, guys.
Split start.
Okay, I've got
4,
it.
3,
Fucking shocking.
2,
He's jibbed.
1.
That's terrible.
Josh, who would you rather be in this situation here?
Absolutely, I'd rather be Yanni Bernsen. I've got to give that one to Yanni Bernsen. The top of screen there, orange uniforms for Yanni's team. I'd say he's about a length ahead, a length and a half ahead right now.
Anyway, I heard Ian Williams on board say that was terrible, guys. I don't think he minced his words. Bernsen is looking great as he sails off the line. Match 1, the semifinals.
Piece, actually.
It's never over, it's over. These guys are going to continue fighting.
All right, we actually have a fourth member of our commentary team. It's a special guest, the president of North Sales and former winner of the Congressional Cup, Ken Reed, live from Newport, Rhode Island. Kenny, how are you? You're looking good.
Hey, gentlemen. Great to be here with you. It's great to be watching match racing and one of my favorite match race boats of all time.
Well, I'm going to throw you right into the fire. This is an unusual direction. You know Long Beach. Have you ever seen it blow out of this direction?
I have not. It's pretty rare to get a cold front through this time of year, a low through this time of year. So to have the pier taken out of play, it's just it'd probably be more shifty than usual coming in off the ocean. So yeah, why not? Let's roll the dice. It's great when sailors make mistakes. That's when it's fun for us to talk about it, So it's just going to be hard. This is going to be harder conditions today for sure.
Well, it's going to be fun to have you, Ken. Stand by. We're going to go back down to the pre-start. Match number 2, folks, is underway. It is Chris Poole and Taylor Canfield. They're in the dial-up just off the Belmont Pier.
And Taylor Canfield, being your round-robin winner, decided to race against Chris Poole there. That's Canfield on the left.
Yeah, he had his choice, right?
Chris Poole on the right.
Do you think he chose the right opponent, Canfield?
I'd say you would probably pick Chris Poole. He's the only one in the semis who hasn't won a Congressional Cup before. So, there's a lot more pressure on him. He hasn't been in this situation before and got it done. So I'd be picking Chris Poole, unfortunately. Love the bloke, but yeah, he'd be my pick.
Give Poole credit now in his 7th Congressional Cup. He finished 4th last time. He's made it to the semifinals the 2nd year in a row. Impressive. 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go. Both boats in reverse. Canfield is the windward boat. Poole in a bit of trouble there, looking to get out of the dial-up. He has. Can he get across Canfield? Looking to attack.
So Poole's put himself in a difficult position here because to get past Canfield, has to end up on port tack, which he is now. They're still in the middle of the line. Looks like Canfield tacks as well. And Poole, from my perspective, is held up by Canfield. So Canfield's still in the controlling position of this race. 2 minutes to go. Not long for Chris Poole to reach around the top of him here and try and get back to the start-finish line. Canfield, right of screen there, leeward boat, yellow flag, with the right-of-way currently in the controlling position. And
as you heard Ken Reed mention, we don't have the pier in play like we've had all week long, so there isn't an exclusion zone that Poole can use to try and break free of Canfield's grasp. We've got 1 minute and 35 seconds to sort this out before they head to the line, and it is Poole in trouble.
Spinning up here into a quick tack, and it looks like Canfield lets him go. Canfield chooses to take the lead towards the start-finish line. Poole might try roll over the top of him and take it, but they still have a long way to go till they are on the shutout lay to the boat.
Canfield has sheeted in. There is an overlap. Gap between the two boats as Canfield closes the distance. 1 minute to the start, and Poole is too close to the line. Will he get across? Can he break the overlap and then dig down below the line to gain some time. He needs it. He's running out.
Canfield just choosing to drop back here, which shows that he's after the right-hand side. You know, he didn't choose to push right under Poole and hook him up. He has dropped back a little bit to let Poole to that side. Poole's very early, 40 seconds to go here. Canfield making sure to keep his swing open behind him. That's Canfield just behind Poole there. Still in the controlling position. Both boats about 4 lengths back from the start-finish line. Canfield building speed on starboard under Poole. Poole tacking back over towards the boat. Canfield now tacking underneath him. He's still right-of-way boat. They are very close to the line. 14 seconds to go.
I think Canfield may have just made a small error, enough to let Chris Poole back to the line here. Less than 10 seconds to go. Both boats are going for the line on port. I think Poole, can he get up over the signal boat, which will come into frame now? There's the gun. Yes, he can. Poole gets out of jail free card there. Canfield wound up to windward, looks strong, but Poole gets a start out of it.
Yeah, he's still got to start out of it. So I'd say Poole's going to carry on towards the right-hand side of course here and hope for a right shift, which will turn both boats to the right a bit, giving some advantage for him. Canfield probably just trying to go fast and sail over the top of him so that if that shift comes, he's right there with him.
Now let's Kenny, are you still there? Can you hear us?
You bet.
How have you seen this game change since you competed in the Congressional Cup?
You mean back in the day, Tuck? Is that what
I
you're
didn't
saying?
put it that. I was trying to be nice.
I think you inadvertently just called me old.
Well, wisdom. You're wise beyond your years.
Okay, fair enough. One of the biggest changes is definitely the leeward gate. It changes completely how the downwind legs are sailed now. The other thing, obviously, in these conditions, Long Beach is a drag race contest here. The Congressional Cup is always known for tiny little bits of boat speed, obviously getting off the line, maybe a little bit right-hand bias. I think this is a completely different day today, and we could see some lead changes, some mixing and matching. That was a big pin-end favor on that one. So, and you know they set a good starting line. So, you know, this could be a really fun day for a different look to the Congressional Cup.
This is certainly a game of wheels, of boat speed, as those two teams leg it out to the right-hand side. Pearson tells us that's the side that's favored. Meanwhile, have a look at this. Yanni Bernsen is ahead of the 6-time match racing world champion Ian Williams. First to win 3 matches, moves on to the finals. Bernsen made the finals in last year's Congressional Cup. Can he do it again?
It looks like they're only halfway down the leg, and Bernsen's already decided to get rid of his pole. I don't know if he's got an issue with it or if they're just doing everything super early now that it's breeze on.
I want to say it looks very left biased. This is a very long port upwind, long starboard downwind. Would you agree?
I agree with you, Tucker. Looks like on that Canfield pool race, Canfield's just going to try to hold
I think we've
to
got to
starboard
follow
leg line.
right gate. Sid,
Coming
do you
down
agree?
here, we have Bernsen, and Bernsen's just going to manage his wrist. He's got his pole down early, his jib up. Just doing all the
Unless
easy
there's any
stuff, get
chance
that out of the way
righty.
so that once he gets down, all he has to do is get the kite down and have a nice rounding.
Okay, listen in. Ian Williams, he said, do you think there's any chance of a righty? He's already trying to find options to catch up and split at the bottom gate. Bernsen
Thinking
will
about
get
a
there
split
first.
just to give us something. Yeah, we're going to go split here, left gate.
Left gate looking downwind, taking the right side of the course as you look upwind, and there is a course change to the left.
Sorry, if you can.
Bernsen heads to the left, in the lead. You heard Kenny talk about the addition of the leeward gates,
Copy, let's just let
giving
it
the trailing
settle.
boat an option to catch up to effectively get a split on his opponent. Now, Bernsen knows that game. He tacks immediately around his
Super tight jib, Halid, it might be
mark.
too much.
Listen in again.
Yeah,
Look at that wind that Bernsen's in.
do we want to be fast into this or what?
They seem to be sailing in different breezes, Tucker.
Do we want to be
Bernsen's in a
fast
nice pressure
into
there.
a righty or not?
Bernsen seems to be pointing a few degrees higher
Copy.
than Williams there.
On board with Ian Williams.
Do you normally hear this tone in his voice, or is he feeling the pressure, Tucker?
Honestly, this sounds like the Ian Williams I'm used to hearing on TV, but I will also throw a caveat. that he's been much more relaxed until this point than he normally is. So not happy with this position, that's for sure.
So just so we don't confuse anyone, what we're doing here is covering 2 different matches at once, and we've got Bernsen and Williams that we're following right now. Yanni Bernsen is the one top of screen, leading Ian by probably about 7 or 8 lengths currently. Ian Williams bottom of screen there.
This gust is
Yanni.
right, so I'm going to roll on it. Attacking now.
Small gust on the bow from the right for Ian Williams to try and get back at Yanni Bernsen. In the background there, you can see the other match. Still heading for the top mark.
2, 1.
Bernsen tacks.
Now.
Williams responds.
Better. Trap down, please, out of these.
So he wasn't happy with the jib snap on that first tack, and then you hear there he just said better, so he's a bit happy with the next one.
Okay, copy. Okay.
Bernsen
2,
covering.
1, attacking now.
So right now what we're seeing is Ian trying to find any right-hand shift to bring back to Bernsen and get back to the middle of the course. He's trying to stay in the middle of the course so he doesn't sail in Yanni's bad air, the turbulent air off the back of Yanni's sails, as we cut to the top mark, and that is Canfield rounding 3 or 4 lengths ahead of Chris Poole.
Not what Poole wanted for race number 1 of the semifinals, but yet he's up against the most successful skipper in Congressional Cup history, Canfield, with 5 wins, leading downwind. It is a very one-sided track. Difficult to set this race course in this breeze direction up close to the fans here off the Belmont Pier. There's your 2 leaders, Bernsen and Canfield.
Canfield with the Club 100 Spinnaker. Can they hear us in the Club 100 lounge, Tucker?
Yes, of course. That's why I have a list of words not to say right here.
Chris Poole with the Long Beach Spinnaker jibing away. Both matches kind of converging here.
Using Williams there as a pick, I think. Poole picked his moment to jibe when Williams was right next to Canfield. Canfield's just going to continue down a little bit, get his air clear from behind, centered up on the racetrack.
I think that's one thing I noticed racing and watching these guys throughout the regatta is that both Canfield and Williams are very methodic in how they play the percentages. They will pretty much, if you put them in the same scenario again, always do the same thing.
Now, Pearson, this is interesting. There's a big split on this match. Ian Williams is now all the way to the right-hand side, and Bernsen's let him go.
Yeah, Tucker, I think a big part of this game is risk management, and with behind by a little bit, Ian Williams is willing to risk a little more, leverage out to that side a little
wide
bit.
if anything again. 2.
Williams going back for more.
Right, I'll squeeze up.
Williams saying hi to the locals here.
What's the thoughts for the run, Sid?
spot for him. Wow.
Big press, power up a little.
Actually, I take that back,
Is that
sorry.
the mark there?
Williams has gone to the left. Bernsen attacks around the mark from the right, and he's gained.
Okay.
The tension mounts on board Ian Williams' boat.
For pressure. Just a little squeeze up for this, guys. Trim on if you can. Copy.
Looks
Barrels
light.
on.
Very light at that top side.
2, 1, go hoist. Go
Kenny, what's the
hoist.
logo on that mainsail?
I don't know. Can you zoom in a little closer? I can't quite see it.
Ken, the
You
president.
know what's interesting, Tuck, is these boats, a tiny little error on a set can easily turn into a boat length. It always kind of blew me away. Just one really small error. The boat ahead carries momentum, the boat behind loses momentum, and how long it takes for these heavier boats to actually get back up to speed again. So keep looking at that as a make or break in these real close races. Obviously, this one isn't super close.
Well, I made a joke about the sails, but all these boats are equal. Complete, even one design racing. It comes down to the skill of the crews. And as you say, Kenny, just the smallest details can make a big difference at this level. Williams, I'm surprised to see trailing. I give Bernsen a lot of credit. He's the only helmsman here that has a full-time job in the medical industry, or a job at all.
Only helmsman. A lot of us crew have jobs as well. I mean, just methodic from Bernsen here, really. He never gave Ian a chance, as you saw so far. He's just covered him the whole way. Right now, he's just keeping himself in clear air away from Williams's turbulent air.
I think we're going to see a more aggressive Ian Williams in this second match pre-start. Ken, would you agree?
Yeah, of course. This is kind of a whipping, really, in this day and age. These boats at this level are used to be finishing within inches of each other, and this is a horizon job in kind of modern day terms. And these.
Ken, I was there when you won this regatta, and I seem to recall a lot more penalties than we're seeing here.
So I've been sailing a lot with Gavin Brady lately on a variety of different boats, and we sailed against Gavin in the finals. And I'm pretty sure we broke the record for black flags in the finals.
There were some choice words. I remember it very well, like it was yesterday. Brady, a 4-time winner of the Congressional Cup. Taylor Canfield only broke that record recently, last year. Williams looks for anything left.
Trying to throw something down to him, but he's
It's always hard to beat those Kiwis, though, isn't
it? The drop now.
Not on that day.
Not on that day, Kenny says. You hear that? I think he's won more Congressional Cups than you have, Josh, with all due respect.
Yeah, I got a few years to get some, though.
Want to get it off, do you? Let's drop it, guys.
Actually, a lot of fun was I did tactics for Peter Holmberg one year we won, and that was really good because Peter was at the top of his game at the time, and I learned a lot from him.
I didn't realize that, so you're a 2-time winner. Well done. Yanni Bernsen takes his first win in the semifinals of the 57th Congressional Cup. Right off the fans of the Belmont Pier. Everyone at Long Beach Yacht Club loves Yanni Bernsen, except maybe Ian Williams.
To be honest, Yanni Bernsen is an incredible competitor. You know, he's really happy to be here. He loves the sport, and he shows a huge amount of respect for all the competitors who compete against him, you know.
No, he's terrific. He's part of the family here, and he brings his family every single year. There are kids and wives that come along with the team. So that's match number 1. Yanni Bernsen takes a very important point. How are we looking in the Canfield pool match? Stand by.
I don't think that's it for Ian, though. I think Ian's going to come back fighting here.
Could go all the way to 5. That over 20 knots hasn't filled in, Pearson, that they were predicting. It's actually dropped a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit easier on the cruise, a little bit more maneuverability. It's still a long day to go, though.
I mean, as I say that shot makes it look breezy in the top right part of the corner, but down here where we are off the Belmont Pier, it's a little bit softer. It is expected to build this afternoon, and the boats are already into the small jibs. As Canfield to windward keeps an eye on pool. There's the windward mark in the background for the last set.
Difficult perspective here, but I would say that Canfield's probably 2 lengths ahead or so of Chris Poole there. That's Canfield on the right, Poole on the left, both flying the American flag.
Well, you can see here, Poole is calling room to tack. You can see that arm signal. He's calling room to tack on that moored boat, that moored sailboat over there.
Maybe it's closer than we think.
Yeah,
then.
I was going to say Poole's caught up a little bit to my eye. Either that or Canfield gave up a little bit of distance to put himself in a strong controlling position. Either way, oh yeah,
he's
big
very
time.
Close.
Very
it's
close.
Game on, my friends.
Hitting the brakes.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, a little bit of an oversteer there by Poole. Poole's just trying to minimize the damage, stay within striking distance.
Too
this
aggressive?
game is a knife fight.
I think
You
that
don't
was
want
too
to
much
throw your
helm.
knife too early.
So Canfield not happy with how close Poole was. Threw a luff. Poole responded very aggressively, and Canfield took the moment to gain a valuable half a length.
I don't think he's safe, though. Canfield going into an early jibe here. Poole carrying on. That's Poole right of screen with the Long Beach Yacht Club Spinnaker. Canfield with the Club 100 Spinnaker. It's still a tight race here.
I would say that's a gutsy move driving there.
Yeah, I was
Josh.
thinking.
Yeah, I mean, now he is in the lee of the oil island there. Or coming up to the lee of the oil island.
And Poole, it's tough to tell from this overhead shot, has got a good amount of pressure down on the surface of the water that he's riding towards Canfield. We'll see now when the two teams converge if there's been a gain. What do you think, Kenny?
Again, it's just a little mistake that the guys talked about. How it turned, that momentum turns into a length and a half in no time. These boats are just notorious for that. Really, really fascinating and really consistent. Funny how Taylor and the crew must have been really convinced of that side of the course because they gave up starboard right away if they ever got back close again. But it looks back out to a reasonably comfortable lead at this stage. Eh?
It is a starboard favored run. Canfield just electing to get onto starboard quickly.
Yeah, I think Chris Poole just gave away a few too many valuable meters there, throwing the helm too hard at the top mark.
I'd love to have onboard audio.
Yeah. We'd need a language warning there.
Give him credit though. In a one-sided race course, he managed to reel Canfield in a little bit, and Canfield woke up, regained control. We're headed to the finish now. The lefty shift is leaving Poole with little option as Canfield has his eyes on the finish line. His father, Bill Canfield, travels to all his regattas. Bill's on the pier with us in the background there, watching his son poised to take yet another race in the 57th Congressional Cup in the all-important semifinals. First to win 3 matches goes on to the finals tomorrow.
So I'm hoping these next races are going to be far more aggressive. You know, you've got both Poole and Williams down a point.
We're not boring you, are we?
I just want to see chaos.
Carnage.
I'm with you, Josh. I want to see the fiberglass fly. I want to see the sparks flying. I want to see the words exchanged.
Says the two who are unfortunately not going into the semifinals.
Ouch.
But you're right. You know, what's bad for sailors out on the water is great for television up here.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to see a good old NASCAR collision. Sometimes you want to.
If I was on the water, mate, I still allow the T-bone, always.
There is a group of people here who maintains the Catalina 37s for Long Beach Yacht Club, cringing at your every word, Pearson.
As it is Taylor Canfield taking the win over Chris Poole.
Josh, I would say at the moment of truth there, and, you know, I always say at the moment of truth, there's always reasons or results. And it seems like Chris Poole a bit oversteered there, and he just wanted to stay close. He didn't want to sort of throw his knife at Canfield there. Just sort of make a jab.
Yeah. I mean, maybe a little bit intimidated by the caliber of his fellow American who he's up against. 5-time Congressional Cup champion, Taylor Canfield.
I think there's plenty more racing to come. We haven't seen the end of Chris Poole or certainly Ian Williams. And Kenny Reed back in Newport, grab a strong cup of coffee because I think we've got a lot more action to come this afternoon in Long Beach. We're going to take a short break here and then regroup for the start of match number 2 here in the semifinals of the 57th Congressional Cup.
Feel left. Feel left. Feel left. Feel left. Feel left. Feel love. Feel love. Feel love. Feel love. Feel love.
The crowd builds on the Belmont Pier here in Long Beach, California, as the action continues on the water. The The semifinals of the 57th Congressional Cup are underway. We have one match completed in each set. Taylor Canfield, is 1 point over Chris Poole. Yanni Bernsen is 1 point up on Ian Williams in a first to win 3 matches. Hello once again, I'm Tucker Thompson with Josh Wijan, Pearson Potts. We've got Ken Reed, president of North Sales, remoting in from Newport, Rhode Island. And here we go. That's 2 minutes. Till the, or 1 minute rather, to the entry. We are going to join the action again with Ian Williams and Yanni Bernsen. And when we last left the last race, the broadcast, we predicted that Ian Williams is probably going to be a little bit angry with that loss and come in with all guns blazing. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he just didn't have a great start, didn't have a great lead back time, didn't nail his jib down left, but he knows all these things. He's 6-time world champion. He's an excellent match racer. And he'll be back in and fighting. You can see him just top right of screen there. He'll be entering from the pin. Ian Williams flying the British flag port boat. Yanni Bernsen going to enter above the boat in about 10 seconds here. So it'll be Yanni Bernsen with the orange uniforms who will have the right of way as both boats enter for a dial-up.
And as they enter, they will have already looked at the breeze up the track. Pearson, you've been doing the same. This has been a left or rather one-sided racetrack.
That's right, Tucker. We've seen the breeze wind a little bit to the left, but it's very up and down, and the crews are going to have to keep their eyes out of the boat, find those lulls, find the pressure, and find the best angle to come back and try to cross.
Well, this gives you an idea of how left it is. Ian Williams almost able to get across there as he went straight on the breeze. Didn't make it, so we're into the dial-up. And let's welcome once again Kenny Reed. Have we got you there?
Yes, sir.
So somewhat of a one-sided racetrack, Kenny, particularly upwind when the boats flop onto port, it becomes a speed race. In the last 2 matches, you notice any speed differences between these 4 boats?
Not particularly, but it is interesting. I've never sailed these boats with little jibs. I mean, we used to train in these boats all the time when we were out there with Stars and Stripes for 4 months or so. And we used to train when the boats were down. Actually, we sank a boat one day. So the boats were down a little bit. And
did you just say you sunk
we
one?
never used the little jibs a single time. So it actually brings a whole new set of variables into play, I think, for these crews. Yeah.
All right, backing up 2 minutes, 40 seconds to go. Josh, would you be fighting for a start to leeward or to windward into this pre-start?
Generally in the breeze, I go for a windward start just because I find it easier to hold your lane on the other boats and not end up in their turbulent air. So I normally go for a windward start in the breeze, especially if you're not sure on the shift. If you're confident it's a left shift first, you'll go, or there's a big pin favor, you'll go for the tight leeward start, so you'll be on the left-hand side of your opponent.
And just a caveat of that, Pearson, if you want to be on port really quickly, would you rather start to windward of your opponent and flop first?
Yeah, it's key to be able to have the freedom to tack and get on that lifted tack as soon as possible. Get up the course sooner than your opponent and start making ladder rings up the course.
1 minute 50 to go. As that is Yanni Bernsen, left-hand side of screen, Swedish flag there, leading away from the start-finish area.
Yanni Bernsen just cool as a cucumber in that bucket hat, looking good, looking casual, loose hands on that wheel.
Going into a nice, easy jibe. Minute 25 to go. Bernsen is in the exact position at this time of a pre-start that Williams usually likes to be in. Williams often chooses to lead. He could have if he wanted to, but he hips up to the right-hand side, which tells me he might want to start to windward of Bernsen. He's going to push him down into the box, going for a hook.
Ian's
Minute 5.
fast here. Ian to leeward, British flag with the right of way there, luffing Yanni Bernsen, pointing him up towards the wind. It's hard to get speed up there. Bernsen choosing to tack over. They are just out to the right-hand side of the boat ley line. Ian tacks over to follow Yanni and block his path back to the start-finish line. 45 seconds to go.
That is the aggression we expected from Ian Williams, boxing Bernsen out above the ley line to the signal boat. Bernsen in a bit of trouble. 30 seconds to go.
You can see the gloves are coming off, Tucker. Ian Williams is holding nothing back. He's in a very controlling position here.
23 seconds. trouble for Bernsen to get up to the line. He's got Williams right in front of him. Williams a little bit early, just gassing him. Look for Williams to just wobble down the line a tiny bit and get a better start. To Leeward, bow forward and up to pace as Bernsen struggles to get to the line at full speed. One little bobble from Williams, and he winds up the slingshot. Bang, the start is off. Williams bow forward at pace. Bernsen does get a start out of this, but not a great one. Look for him to tack immediately, Pearson.
That's right, and you're going to see Williams counter right back to go right with him. He doesn't want to split with his opponent. I think Williams got the better of that start.
Kenny, it looked like Yanni Bernsen at about 1:30 just kind of fell asleep there.
Yeah, it's all about the time back, right? Especially when you're leading. You got to lead in a comfortable position. It looked like he kind of started his lead a little early, which obviously gets you in a tough spot right away. Yeah, they both kind of let each other off the hook at one stage during that sequence. But yeah, I think if Bernsen had it back, he would do a better job of picking his time to lead back.
Well, at least he's got a touch of clear air on his bow as both boats sprint on port up the track. I can hear the horns from the committee boat to our left, which means start number 2 is underway into the box. Poole and Canfield yet again. Canfield is one up over his rival Chris Poole. Poole has made it as far as 4th in the Congressional Cup before, never won it. If he wants to advance to the finals, he's got to turn the tide on Canfield. A tall order as he enters on port. Top of your screen, and there's Canfield on starboard, luffing up.
Question here is, can Canfield, can he do it again? I think Poole is in a tougher spot here. I think this next race, the gloves are going to come off, and I get the feeling if you put Cole in the right spot on Poole's boat, he might make diamonds.
I knew Pearson from the press conferences, some of the funny things he said. I knew it was going to come out eventually.
Keep us in the middle for now. Wait till he's going forward, okay? He's
On
main.
board. Canfield.
Go hard, exit. 2, 1, and cut.
Exit.
There's the exit. And Canfield there, exiting towards the playground. But Canfield is just like Mozart at the piano. He's been here before. He knows what to expect. He can move that boat anywhere he wants.
He wants to move it in front of Poole in this match, that's for sure. Let's listen in as they duck
That's what I'm saying.
committee boat.
We're on board with Taylor Canfield there.
They're looking upwind. What are they talking about?
They'll just be looking for that shift. So there's about 2 minutes 20 to go. So now you'll be able to see what the first shift on the race course is going to be from down where they are. And that's how he's going to decide what sort of start he wants. Chris Poole now just leading away from the start-finish area. And he's going to pick his lead back time. And if he's on a good time, he should be on for a good start. But Taylor has a decision to make on which side of him he chooses.
Look. Up. Yeah. Copy. Copy. Driving 2, 1. Copy. Understood.
Back on
Copy.
board.
Let him jump here, huh?
Canfield to leeward. Poole looking to roll.
Trim. Full speed out, please.
Canfield's going to say no to that. Can he do it? Can Poole get over him?
Come down.
Yes.
See Poole try to, yeah, there he makes it. He makes the swing in. We call that a jump in the game, in the industry here.
In the biz?
Yeah. Bow coming down here.
That's right, Tucker.
Now Canfield pushing. Poole in the lead position.
It's a game of inches here. Wow, look at the boats. Inches from the overlap there.
Canfield now with the right of way.
Trim on. Stand by to attack here.
Calling for a penalty.
1.
Yellow flag penalty.
Bow down.
So that's a penalty against Chris Poole there.
Yeah.
Trouble for Poole. Canfield shifting to the right of him.
Stand by to attack here. Is he early?
Ouch.
Poole in a bit of trouble. Pool, I think the umpires felt like Pool didn't do enough to keep clear there as the windward boat, as the keep clear boat.
Yeah, pretty standard call there. I tend to agree with them. 15 seconds to go. Pool on the pin end of the line, left-hand side of screen, left-hand side of course. He's a bit early, trying to kill time.
Got to do that big turn down. Now the gun goes off. Chris Poole winds up, lured boat number 1. Canfield to windward, just got a little bit better acceleration there. And remember, Poole also
a little slower here, okay? We're going sideways.
has that penalty.
Yeah, copy.
Canfield sliding into Poole, though, who is just
Copy,
bow
a little
forward.
header here. Gonna have to tack soon, Mike. I'll tell you when I'm not good. Easing in this puff, easing in this puff. Yeah, easing, a little more. Thank you. Nice control there. Faster for us, Mike.
That was what happened with the
Yeah,
penalty.
going. Copy.
Canfield hanging in there. Kenny's doing a nice job as a
Easing,
windward boat,
going
not
very
easy
well
to
here
do.
now.
Yeah, either he's really
Yeah, copy.
calm,
Easing a
or
little.
he knows the
Yeah.
microphone's on and he's trying to impress us. One of the two. Either way, it's pretty
Copy.
impressive.
Yeah.
You know, with this left-sided track, we're going to get to Port Leyline pretty quick, and Canfield's in charge. Look at him moving forward as a windward boat. Impressive.
Good gain to us there.
Yeah, he's not going to be there for long. You're the guy to lure. Why aren't you in his
All good.
cockpit?
We went
right
well
now?
through it.
You got to shake your shake your penalty too.
And you're going to get to Leyline pretty quick, so there's 3 pretty good reasons to mix it up here as the lured boat. Close gauge. Do something.
Mike, make sure we don't go too far, okay?
Really impressive by
Yeah.
you
Good
hear him
ball,
talking
George.
to his tactician Mike Buckley there. That little mental ease that he talked about
Copy,
right
I see
after the
it.
start, it's got him bow forward. That was really well done. That's hard to do.
He's actually gained gauge to windward on Poole.
Copy.
Right hand shift.
Not there yet.
So he's just asking Mike Buckley for the ley line
Just
call
go a
there.
little further than we think, okay? He's not going to jibe.
Saying to go a little bit past the ley line. He wants to make sure he's over the ley line, but not too far over
If he
because he
jibes,
wants
he'll
to
be really
gas in
bad
there.
shape. If he jibes, nothing. Let's go to it, okay? I don't think we're there yet. Yeah.
Leyline for the top mark, far left of your screen.
I don't think we're there.
They keep getting wound on starboard.
That's fine. Long anchor, right?
Canfield has just continued to gain. That's
Let's
going to
hike,
hurt
guys,
when they do
hiking
tack
hard.
for Chris Poole.
Lean it out, Ian.
Yeah, and in these heavy boats, you can put it into an aggressive high mode after the tack here.
Big
Get
header.
really
You want to
gassy.
go in
And to
this?
Kenny's point, why didn't Poole do that right after the start when he was a little bit bow
Holding.
forward?
It's actually righty.
Yeah, I mean, he had to try something there.
Okay.
It just hasn't worked for him.
Stand by. Happy.
And he's got that penalty
2,
to undertake.
1. Tacking now.
Chris, if you want to win the Congressional Cup, you're going to have to beat that man who just tacked away
Hold-
Canfield
hold
above
there,
ley
George.
line on
Well
port,
understood, okay?
leading.
Yeah, just trim the course, please. Talk to me about pressure where you want to be, Mike.
Canfield is constantly in control
Okay, a little
of every
trim.
detail.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Hold.
think we're just seeing the difference between knowledge and wisdom here. You know, Chris Poole has the knowledge. He knows what
Yeah,
to do.
I got it. No
Canfield
issues.
has the
Watch the
wisdom.
main.
The big difference
Yeah.
there is, you know, knowledge
All
is
good, all
knowing
good,
a
all good.
tomato's
No
a
more,
fruit.
please.
Wisdom's knowing not to put it in a fruit salad.
Understood.
Kenny, our local wisdom expert, would you agree?
I'm trying to figure out what that all meant.
And he doesn't eat salad.
Okay?
It's
Yeah,
just
if we don't
shifty,
lay,
right?
he doesn't lay, so-
The good move by Mike Buckley there was to, and by Taylor Canfield, was to not tack right away off the line. They would have been tacking out of phase. It's so shifty that I think the good teams
Easing, hold
not
on.
only
Yep.
can match race, but they're
Take you
also
up, George.
they're such good match racers. Their eyes are outside the boat all the time, and those two guys, Buckley and Canfield, they've been sailing together a long
Oh,
time
going right
together
now,
in
okay.
these goals. So that's got to be an advantage.
Yeah, let's make sure we either jive into
There's the
pressure or
difference.
hold.
About 2.5 to 3 lengths and counting, because Poole continues to get affected by Canfield's Breeze off the back of leashes of his sails.
Big one here, big one, 2.
Canfield choosing to sail a high slow mode just to get the gas of his sails, the turbulent air of his sails,
Stay on
on
the
the
rail.
Pool's sails,
You
slow him
can.
down there.
Elizabeth Whitman going into the pit to help get the pole up.
Copy,
And Cassidy
understood.
up on the bow. Approaching the
Fine.
top mark. Quick update, Ian Williams is still leading in his match. Far
3,
left of your screen there
2,
over Bernsen.
1,
Canfield
go
at the set.
Got a knot here, Alec, okay? Go hoist.
Not in the main sheet.
Yeah, I guess so. Canfield eases the main sheet himself from on the helm there.
Just saying, he was telling Alec Anderson he had a knot in it. Which probably implies, look, I've got to keep my hands on the wheel, so I'll uncleat the main, but you're going to have to get the knot out.
Yep.
Another immediate jibe. Same move we saw in the first race, Kenny.
Yeah, just from up here in the oh, sorry, Kenny. Just from up here in the commentary box, you can see he's hooked into a isolated puff there, and he's just going to ride that out and take a few little gains from it, and then he'll come back to match him.
Kenny, that was a little jab at you that Josh Wijan just said, you know, from up here in the commentary box, there's only 3 of us that are up here, and one's stuck in Newport looking at a computer.
And I think it's a nicer day. I think it's warmer here in Newport today than it is out there. So at least I have one small advantage.
It probably is. Breeze picking up. It's expected to be well over 20 knots this afternoon. John Bush getting these races off like clockwork as Williams leads Bernsen. That'll even the score if they stay that way. Upwind, those 2 boats in the background there. And Canfield looking for his second win over Chris Poole. Can Poole catch up, reel him in, and offset the penalty, and do so with 1 more lap to go? Not an easy task, Pearson.
Not at all, but Canfield's in a very commanding position here. He might want to open up the snack box soon. Stay hydrated. He's in a very comfortable spot. His main trimmer there, Alec Anderson, just confirming, looking up the course, trying to see trying to just double
Stand by.
check what side of the course
3,
they like go for
2,
the second beat.
1. The left gate looks right. Jibe, please. Yeah. Alex, stay with me. for that
Canfield
one,
just
yeah?
saying the
You're
left
not to
gate
see
looks
them
up,
on the
and I
left one.
tend to agree with him right now. It's quite shifty out here. Just that play from Canfield
See,
there while
left,
Poole has a
yeah.
penalty, that downwind really
Gotta fill
shows
this
you
thing.
how shifty it
Fill
is.
the
That
kite,
would not
please,
be
yeah.
normal to give away the starboard advantage
Easing,
when
easing
the other
when you
boat
can.
has a penalty, because if they catch up to you, they could get you. Canfield
Left
pulling
turn
the
looks
jib up
slightly
now,
favored, Mike.
committing to the left turn.
Left turn looks a little favored.
Looks very favored from our
3,
perspective.
2, 1. Go take.
Is it going to be a jibe drop from Taylor Canfield? Or a drop and then jibe?
What do you want? Okay.
Okay. Well, Mike Buckley sticks to his guns and says, Taylor, no, we're going right-hand turn, left-hand
Likely early
side.
tack.
Maybe he knows there's a lefty coming. I mean, this is going to be an initial
Stand by
gain for
here.
Poole here by taking the favoured gate.
Kenny, I admire Canfield trusting Mike Buckley,
Hang on.
even if he doesn't necessarily agree with the call.
That's a big game
You
for
have
him,
to
Mike.
in this situation, and it
Got
sets a
it?
precedent for the rest of the day sometimes.
No more, George, need to build?
If you get out of sorts with your crew, all of a sudden it's hard to get their trust back sometimes. So listen, as a tactician, you'd rather see them make a mistake and be really confident
Yep.
than be wishy-washy.
I
So
think he might have,
it's
though,
the
Kenny.
guy who helped you get here.
Small
Nothing
piece
against Mike
potentially.
Buckley. I admire the trust between those two, but I think it may have been a mistake because now Chris Poole was a bit bow forward. He had a very good rounding, and any bit of righty
But I think
gives
he
him
has the
starboard
piece,
advantage.
okay, for your info.
Just rushing to his defence here. Both boats coming downwind look like they're
Go
in
now,
left-hand
controls.
pressure, those
Yep.
other boats. So he should be winding up.
Just don't say controls. Just
Canfield just has that confidence to take the left-hand side of the course and give up that starboard cord.
Easy. Yeah. He's very strong. He's tacking.
Here he comes. You can hear him say he's
Leave
very
out
strong.
probably,
That's
right?
Taylor's way of saying, Mike, I went with
Copy.
you. I trust you, buddy. But
Stand by.
that wasn't the right call.
3,
Exactly right.
Lee Bow, look, Poole has definitely gained.
One.
He's right back
Backing
in
out.
this match. Canfield goes for a Lee Bow.
Neck and neck here. A little bit of
Easy,
Hollywood
hold.
from Poole there.
And that yellow flag looms in the distance. Poole looking to catch Canfield.
That's tight, guys.
Wow, tables have
Take it
turned
all,
and how
George.
quickly that happened.
Easing a little, maybe. Yeah.
Where did
Please talk
Chris
to me
Poole
when
come
everything
from?
out.
There's that left gate, man. You put the curse on him.
Hindsight's
Need
2020.
modes, please.
I know what the debrief's going to sound like if they don't win this race.
Poole now technically in control of the race, but he
Eventually
does
we go
still
with it
have
here
a penalty
if we get
turn to
strong,
get rid
right?
of here.
Easing.
Okay, we're going to leave them to it real quick. That is Ian Williams evening the score with Yanni Bernsen, now 1 apiece. Well done. And then back into the feature match. Neck and neck. Bow to bow.
This is what we want to see. So we're on board with Canfield, and you can see Chris Poole to windward of him there. You can see the boat just over Canfield's shoulder, and Poole has a penalty to do as they make their way out to the left-hand side of the course.
Poole's gaining.
Okay, easing here.
In that position, that is not easy to do. Wouldn't be surprised. Canfield starts mixing it up here.
You want to
Expect a little bit of a bloodbath here. It's going to be a steel cage match of chutes and ladders.
Stand by to come up here at him.
Here comes.
Yeah. Travel come up hard, okay?
Taylor's going to try and catch him off guard.
Up or down?
Oh, big left-hand shift.
That's actually...
Stuff him now, wouldn't you? No?
So Poole's choosing to kind of drag the race out this side. He doesn't have enough distance to complete a full turn, so he's going to try and offset a penalty onto Canfield here. On board with Poole now, looking back at Canfield. Poole definitely in the lead, in control of the race. Not enough distance to complete a turn, though. So he's going to have to match race him here.
Turn the main. Yeah, just get the main on hard.
Look how relaxed Chris Poole looks.
He's looking good on that wheel.
Bad waves here. Going to keep it fast with these waves. Stand by. 2, 1. Tacking now.
Both boats tacking. And it is Poole in the lead.
Oh.
No.
Easing.
What's going on here is Poole is thinking about trying to complete his penalty. We saw this. This is actually an interesting new way to kill a penalty by Canfield actually last year at the Congressional Cup.
Yeah.
Poole tried to do that just then, but it didn't pull it off.
Tried to do what?
He tried to kill the penalty by jibing and doing a double jibe and then coming back up to close haul, but didn't quite pull it off.
Still in a controlling position there. I'd be pretty happy to be Chris Poole still. He's didn't kill the turn, but now he's the lured right-of-way boat as we come towards the top mark up by the oil island there.
Keep it slow. Matty, no pull.
Both boats slowing down as Poole still has right-of-way. Canfield just doing his best not to infringe here.
Matty, on the jib.
Yeah, just get slow and close at this stage, right?
Absolutely.
Force him to tack. If he tacks, you tack, and you burn your penalty.
Canfield's just got to keep his cool. We call this play 2 in the industry. And by 2, I mean 2 boat lengths behind.
Little one. Cut.
Right now he's still overlapped. There's no unforced errors here.
Got it. Going with. Watch him, going with him, watch him. Understood.
Me and Matt Cassidy up on the bow will match what
A little
Poole
bit.
does.
Yep, it's just copycat.
Going
Monkey
with,
see,
Matty?
monkey do out here.
Watch him, okay? Hold, cut. He's main. And jib coming on hard now. Jib on hard.
Nice job, Chris Poole.
Need power.
He's taking control of the match, rolling into the set now, ahead of Canfield. No spinnaker going up, though.
He's past the mark. He's already past the mark. Ready? Stand by to hoist.
Canfield, they're calling for a penalty. He's trying to
He hasn't done
explain
it.
to the umpires
Not
that
done
Chris is on the downwind leg, and his penalty is a tack.
Not a jibe.
Rather than a jibe is what you would, a penalty on the upwind leg would be a jibe.
So
Canfield
he hasn't
not
shed his
hoisting.
penalty yet.
I think we hoist.
Canfield just not sure if he can hoist and get around Chris Poole's bow. Poole on the left of screen there with the right-of-way.
Main on, dude. Trim the main on. Stop looking at him and trim your sail, okay?
Oh, Taylor is wound up.
Inches here.
Contact, was that? Oh my gosh, how close. Listen in. Another one, another luff. Canfield trying to keep clear.
Main on, please.
Very well done by Poole there.
Stand by to hoist here, okay?
Offset penalties there. Poole has evened the score.
The penalty has gone down now. It is first to the bottom mark, will win, first to the finish line, will win the race.
It's not over yet.
Poole still in the controlling position to leeward of Canfield. Canfield calling for a jibe set because they've made their way out to the right-hand side of the track. This is
what I'm
impressive from
saying.
Chris Poole.
Kenny, can you feel the tension all
Yeah,
the
go
way
for
back
it.
in Newport? This is awesome.
My heart's
Yeah.
pumping.
Coming up, man
Good
on, man
fun,
on.
good fun.
Oh,
This has got to be a
Spinnaker
drive
going
set
up
by
on
Poole at
Canfield.
some stage here, right?
Poole's luffing him.
Trouble for Canfield going for the set, but Poole's got an overlap going for a windward leeward. Canfield Spinnakers all over the place. Look how close they are. Could we see another penalty against Canfield? Poole is in control of this
Wow.
match.
Big cheers on the pier. Chris Poole absolutely in control of Taylor Canfield here.
Kite flying all over the place. Poole going for a wind check. 3 sails up, but not fast for Canfield. Poole slips through to leeward. Another penalty flag. They jibe
Build the kite now.
in
build
the
kite.
lead and roll into the set.
Poole still needs a good set here to maintain this lead. Canfield does already have his spinnaker
Wow.
up. Green flag, no offenses.
And Canfield in all kinds of mess, trying to sort it out downwind.
Poole now going for another luff. Both boats with their spinnakers in the air. Canfield still not at the head of the rig, not made. Poole to leeward there with the right of way. What a mess.
Canfield trying to wind check, or Poole trying to wind check Canfield. Canfield's bow is advanced a little bit, but Poole, under the rules, still has rights as a leeward boat. The Spinnakers and the Hedsels are doing nothing at this point. Another luff, close to contact. The umpires are going to decide that. Canfield is passing Poole, but we could see another flag.
Got a blue here.
Nothing yet from the umpires.
Stand by the job,
Canfield may
okay?
be able to squeak around here.
I heard Canfield say we
Poole
got a
went
blue.
wide.
A red
Red
flag
penalty,
penalty
Canfield.
against Canfield.
Wow.
It's going to be
Jib up,
game
please.
over.
That's a race ender
up.
there.
Chris Poole has done it. And
Get the
Canfield
jib. Yep.
not happy with that.
So the red penalty means that Canfield must douse his spinnaker, get it below the gooseneck where the boom connects to the mast, and do his penalty immediately. He cannot wait for another leg. He cannot offset it onto Poole. He must do the penalty now. This is race over for Canfield.
He's the winner, Gypsy,
Poole was
please.
able to just hang on by inches there.
Did
It looked
not.
almost that Canfield was going to get the roll and be able to jump.
Another.
Just sail to the finish. Okay.
Do you think Mike
Hey,
Buckley's
guys,
a
we're just
little bit
gonna sail to the
upset?
finish.
Yeah.
We've just
Not
had
gonna do it
another
together. You
penalty
don't
on
wanna get
Canfield
black.
there for
We'll
not
do one
doing
and then
his
sail to
turn
finish.
soon enough, and that's
Are
what
you
Mike
kidding?
Buckley's complaining about there.
No hoist, okay?
It is game over for the 5-time Con Cup winner as Chris Poole kept his cool,
Hey, sheets,
and he heads for home,
under the
about to
bow here,
rack up
okay?
his first win
Let's clean
in the
out the speed here.
semifinals of the Congressional Cup.
As he comes past the Belmont Pier, everyone give him a round of applause. Chris Poole.
Gotta keep the fucking spinnaker close to the boat when we
Sorry for the French language.
Do we have the ability to do a replay, Tucker?
I don't think so, but in my head, it looks just as ugly as it did on the water. It's being replayed over and over.
So
Man,
a lot of times in match racing, you got to go back 10 moves. How did that happen? How did Canfield get in that position? And I think you trace it all the way back to that leeward mark
Yeah.
rounding.
right
you-
there. Well, look, you can see it right there. Look at the
Yeah.
the mark to the right is so much farther upwind than the one to the left. I think it's actually
Exactly,
drag.
Tucker.
And Canfield called it, but he went with Buckley's call to the left-hand side upwind, and that took away starboard advantage, took away the lead, took away the penalty, took away the race. Chris Poole crosses the line. An impressive victory for Riptide Racing. Well done.
This is a different Chris Poole to what I've seen racing here before.
Yeah.
He is really on form now.
He's calm. I
He's
don't know if
calm.
I could have kept that level of calm when it was that tight, and it was a clutch moment. He came through, didn't make any mistakes. And Kenny, honestly, I would have written Chris Poole off about 7 or 8 minutes ago. Didn't see that one coming. I don't think Canfield did either.
Well, you guys are right about that leeward mark. That's where you go back to the gate choice, and you guys were exactly right. I was trying to give the benefit to the tactician, but tactician made a mistake. But there's no question about that. Now, does that shake his confidence for the rest of the day? That's really the big question now.
Well, that's a very good one psychologically in any sport. You've got to have short-term memory loss. You've got to shake off a bad race and get right back into it. Wipe the slate clear. Colleen Cook, our resident umpire, you were just listening in on that call. Can you give us just a short explanation on what happened with Canfield?
So there had been an overlap for quite some time with both spinnakers up, And with pull to leeward, he was giving Canfield, when the spinnakers were luffing, giving him that time to take his spinnaker down, which he did not avail himself of. And so Poole at that time was able to come up and assert his leeward rights, and Canfield did not keep clear.
I think Canfield is just as surprised as the rest of us.
You know, guys, another telltale there was Canfield never got his kite all the way to the masthead. It was down about 30% of the way, and that just made them lose control that much more, trying to get around his bow, around Poole's bow. So there were probably a number of things that they're going to go through in between races here and try to make sure that that doesn't happen again. Good fun, though.
Wow, what a race, Tucker.
Yeah, fantastic.
My heart is still pumping.
And we're going to go on board with Chris Poole, the winner of that race.
And that's
Here
why
he
we.
is.
So that was a interesting race we had. Got a penalty in the pre-start, but
We think we've got an
really
interview
shifted
with him.
conditions with this new direction. So I think everyone's learning, and you know, we chewed our way back into Taylor slowly, and then we got ourselves into a good controlling position and managed to maintain control the whole time on that second downwind, and was able to get a penalty back, and then another penalty on him to get in front and take the win. So it's all tied up.
Well, there you have it from Chris Poole, the winner. So the score is now 1-1 between Chris Poole and Taylor Canfield, and Williams and Bernsen, setting up an exciting third match here in Long Beach, California, as the semifinals of the Congressional Cup continue. Breeze is up, so is the action. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Feel love. Feel love. Feel love. Feel love. Feel love. Feel love.
Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen. Well, if you watched that last match, it was exciting. It was a nail-biter, and it was surprising if you're Yanni Bernsen or Taylor Canfield. They both lost, and their competitors evened the score. So now we have Canfield and Poole, both at 1-all. Williams and Bernsen at 1-all. First to win 3 moves on to the finals of the Congressional Cup, and we are going to move into the pre-start between Williams and Bernsen yet again. It will be Ian Williams entering from the right-hand side in 15 seconds. On starboard against Yanni Bernsen. Boys, who do you think has got the advantage moving into this next? We knew Williams was going to be aggressive coming out of that first loss, and he did. He turned the tides. Now we've got an even score. Who's your money on, Josh?
I honestly can't pick it. They're both top competitors, and it really is just going to turn, and well, it's really going to be all about who can make the right decision here with their lead back times, getting a good start, getting the first shift.
Pearson, a fair point. He could be a politician with that answer. He gave us nothing.
Well, let me try and help you a little bit here.
All right.
So, Ian Williams here with the initial advantage, holding that starboard card, electing to stay beneath Bernsen, now shifting to windward. But as the coming in on the right as the yellow boat, he has the initial advantage.
Kenny Reed, we've got you back live from Newport, Rhode Island. Who's your money on between these two?
Well, you know, I think it's on the breeze. The breeze is the great equalizer here. It's so shifty that it actually kind of takes a little bit of the match racing out of it sometimes. So if you're really good at being an aggressor and the other boat decides to just look for the shifts, get the right side of the starting line and go for that one big shift. I mean, we've seen 20, 30 degree shifts out there. So it really negates that super aggressive match racing mode that we see very often in these boats and with these sailors.
Well, that probably, if you were a statistician, gives a little bit more advantage to Yanni Bernsen versus Williams, because Williams is a very positional sailor. He knows every move in match racing, and as Kenny said, it's more of a sailor's game out here today with the breeze and the shifts. Fishtailing off the committee boat. There's no lack of action between these two as the clock ticks down. Williams jibing behind Bernsen, leeward boat. There's a blue flag already, and that goes against Yanni Bernsen. We'll get the umpires in to see what happened there. I didn't even see it. Did you?
No, I didn't notice it. Sorry. It must have been in the dial-up.
Yeah, I think the penalty there was Bernsen coming in as the blue boat from the port end was attacking boat, and as attacking boat was obligated to keep clear of Williams.
Wow, well, Bernsen, that explains why Bernsen is being so aggressive. This is not a textbook match race start that we are used to seeing, and Bernsen's boxing Williams up against that signal boat. Minute 35 seconds to go. He's going to have another go at him on starboard.
Yeah, Bernsen's a penalty down here, but he's in a controlling position. It's always, as soon as you get a penalty in the pre-start, just forget about it. Just keep cool. Try to start the race ahead and worry about the penalty later.
I like what Bernsen is doing here. With all due respect, I think he is thinking about the penalty. I think he's being more aggressive than he needs to be against Ian Williams. And we're also seeing that the lesser teams seem to be throwing it all out, these old veterans, Canfield and Bernsen, and making it work. Bernsen being very aggressive. 58 seconds to go, 2 lengths off the line. I think Williams is in a bit of trouble here. This cat and mouse game, he is running away from Bernsen, who gives chase.
Bernsen here is going to try to block his drive. I think Williams can. Boats are about neutral right now. Neither boat has really a controlling position. Williams manages to sneak out of trouble there.
All right, 30 seconds to go. We're above ley line for the committee boat. Time to head back. Bernsen is bow forward, looking to get a tack in onto starboard and go over the top of Ian Williams. Can he do it? Yes. Now, I think Williams is in a big world of hurt here.
Absolutely.
13 seconds to go. He's 22 seconds from the line. He puts a tack in now. Bernsen heads for home. He's bow forward. He's up to full speed. He's going to be a little bit late as well, but he's going to win the start over Williams, who's just getting into the start now. A solid boat length to the Swedish team as Williams ducks below the signal boat and just winds up with Bernsen tight to leeward, giving him dirty air, Josh.
Yeah, and I think this is looking good for Bernsen as there's a left-hand shift about 20 seconds off him here. So as they tack round, you'll probably see an advantage shift to Bernsen there. Swedish flag, right-hand side of screen. Orange uniforms going into attack just now.
So, Ken Reed, you said this is going to be more of a sailing race with these shifts. I think in the previous 4 minutes it was definitely a match racer's game, and now that we're heading upwind, we shift more into fleet racing tactics, play the shifts.
Yeah, exactly. Look at that left shift right there. You can see the left-hand boat shearing off of it. Bow down, go fast right now. It's not necessarily a covering strategy. It's a stay in the shift strategy. You need to get far enough ahead to try to shake a penalty.
Very fair point with Bernsen carrying that ominous blue penalty from the pre-start. Meanwhile, it is Ian Williams, bow forward. We're in a left-hand shift, so he is not in the right position for a lefty, but statistically, we've got to get a righty at some point on this racetrack. Will that advantage Ian Williams to get back into it?
Absolutely, Tucker. I think that Williams made a very conservative play there at the start. He could have tacked to leeward and tried to get a close to leeward start on Bernsen there, but elected to take a more conservative approach, start to the right, maybe a hair late off from the start, but keep that starboard guard and stay to the right of the course, knowing that he's a penalty up on Bernsen here.
Bernsen's still winding up in that left-hand pressure.
Totally different breeze where Bernsen is. You can see it on the screen there. Bow down for Williams, bow up for Bernsen.
Bernsen with a penalty, though. So there's 2 ways he can go about this. He can either try and play the shifts, which is something we don't get as often here at Long Beach, which is why you see more match racing, and get himself way ahead on the shift, or he can slow the boat down and try to kill his turn on Ian, like we just saw pull off on Canfield. Ian now into attack.
Well, you'd much rather outsail your opponent and gain distance if you can, all things being equal. It's more risky to try and offset the penalty, right?
Far more risky. It's just, do you have enough distance? 5.5 boat lengths is what we call it for a downwind turn. Around the pin and still win the race. Bernsen now tacking in front of Ian. Ian getting out of there, away from that turbulent air. Bernsen coming back, Ian coming back as well. So what Bernsen's doing here is he's just trying to drag him out to the right-hand side of course, out to that ley line, so that eventually Ian's got nowhere to go.
I think Williams got a little piece of him there. A small gain, maybe? Not to phrase that as more of a question. It's a Kiwi translation problem.
Gotcha. I think Williams, they're just playing copycat here, just keeping the game going, tacking back and forth.
It's because they end every sentence with A. Hey?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What I like to do here is the trailing boat, if you're Ian, is you try and, when you tack back onto port, so Bernsen now going to slam him. When Ian now tacks back onto port, no, Ian's going for a hook.
Going for a hook. This is a move Williams likes to do, and now Bernsen's in a bit of trouble. He tried to tack in front of Williams. Now he's a windward boat and has to keep clear.
And I think Williams is on a ley line here, or very close to it. This is an advantage to Williams. I'll go back to that play I was explaining later. We don't need to worry about that now.
Yeah, put that one back in your pocket. We'll pull it out later. Bernsen down 2 down speed tacks. So I will ask you this, though. Had Bernsen just started his tack about a second and a half earlier, he could have had a very comfortable lee bow rather than what turned into a hook and a potential penalty.
Yes. It might not have been as comfortable a lee bow, but he did definitely misjudge how fast Ian was going relative to how fast he comes out of attack himself. Ian not quite up on the ley line here, so Bernsen could still have another chance to get to him if he's fast towards the windward mark zone here.
That's a very good point. And Williams will have to tack and cross Bernsen as the disadvantaged boat on port.
Top mark just in shot there on Bernsen's bow.
Close to ley lines, getting soft up there too.
Yeah, Ian knocking away there. It's quite shifty under the island. Quite patchy.
Bernsen might have actually, that was an interesting way to shift right. And by shift right, I mean by Bernsen taking the right-hand side. Bernsen might have baited him into that hook earlier to be able to take that right-hand side of the course. And to see how it played out. Bernsen's going to round this top mark now on the ahead. And by baiting him into that hook, Bernsen is able to take the right-hand side.
So Williams caught up. That was impressive. Almost gave Bernsen a penalty. But Bernsen got right back in the game. That's the good news if you're a Swedish fan. The bad news for Bernsen is Williams is right there. And there's even more bad news, Pearson.
That's right, Tucker. Bernsen's in a world of hurt here. He's got 2 penalties. That means he's going to have to take his penalty right now.
We're going to get the media call on exactly what happened there, because just when the door looked like it was going to open up for Bernsen, it got slammed again. 2 penalties. That hurts. Oh, a black flag. We're definitely going to get the umpire's call on this.
Wow.
Game over. Game over for Bernsen.
So the second Bernsen penalty was because he was the boat coming in on starboard and the other boat on port, and he must have still been in the zone and caused the port boat, Williams, to alter his course. So that was a Rule 18.3 that gave him the second penalty. The third penalty, here we go.
For taking mark room when he was not entitled, and then we had a third blue penalty for not taking the penalty as soon as reasonably possible. That flag has been blacked.
That's it. Ken Reed, game over. 1 penalty is bad, 2 is really bad, and 3 is book your ticket home.
Yeah, that's Gavin Brady material right there.
You're right.
He wasn't backing as good. They were kind of panic backing to try to match race in that situation. It was really clear up that whole beat. Williams' team was absolutely tacking the boat smoother, better, coming out powered up, and just slowly ate back into him, made it close enough to cause a problem. So that I would take this one down to boat handling. Clearly, the Williams team absolutely out boat handled Bernsen in that race.
Yep. And if ever there is a surgical sailor that knows every single nuance of every move in the match racing game, it's Ian Williams, and he found a small crack and opened it up into a big victory. So now Williams goes 2 up over Bernsen. Next up is the Canfield pool match, and I believe, I'm just asking kind of in general, that there might be a breakdown, damage, or some kind of maybe I don't see a pool out here, so I'm not sure what's going on, but when I know what's going on, I'll be bringing it to you guys live. The next round for race 2 of Canfield and pool, and race 3 of Williams and Bernsen. Bernsen in a must-win situation now. But for the moment, we're going to take a break. Stay with us in Long Beach. We'll be right back.
emergency.
Congressional Cup semifinals. It is all to play for. 10 teams have been whittled down to 4. Only 2 will move on tomorrow. Will it be Yanni Bernsen, Ian Williams, Taylor Canfield, or Chris Poole? Right now, we're into the match between Bernsen and Williams. As you can see here, both of them pointing towards each other. The score is 2-1, Williams to Bernsen. If Williams wins this match, he goes through to the finals. Bernsen in a must-win situation to stay in the regatta. Hi, I'm Tucker Thompson, once again joined by Pearson Potts and Josh Wijan, both sailors who came through the Congressional Cup. I am sorry that you guys aren't out there on the water, but we are really lucky to have you in the booth. We're in the dial-up, 3:30 to go.
Yeah, I'm tuckered out here, Tucker, but I'm glad to be here.
You know what I like about Pearson Potts? It's going to get funnier and funnier because I've seen that side of him come out as the day goes on. Anybody from New Orleans has got another side to them, that's for sure.
Well, these Bloody Marys aren't going to drink themselves, Tucker.
Now, let's talk about the action here, Josh. We're in reverse, in the dial-up. Bernsen to windward, Williams to leeward.
Both boats going backwards now. Sorry, just an issue with my mic, but we're on. We're live. That is Bernsen with the orange uniforms on board with Williams now. That's your view there. Williams bows on to port.
Bernsen is doing about 7 knots in reverse. Williams has already fallen off onto port. Going to try to go behind Bernsen. Here we go. On board with Williams.
Ja, han kommer där, ja.
I take that back. Unless Williams has picked up really good Swedish overnight, that is on board audio from Yanni Bernsen. Both boats on port, heading to the right-hand side of the starting line. Coming up on 2 minutes, a good time to bring in my good friend Ken Reed. He's all the way on the East Coast in Newport, Rhode Island, the president of North Sails, more importantly, former winner of the Congressional Cup. Kenny, good to have you again.
Thank you. It's great to be here with you guys. Good fun and good entertainment. I don't know why.
Ken, I know you can't see it from your vantage point, but here it is cold and windy. The breeze is up, so is the action. Do you think Bernsen can turn the tides here?
It'll be really interesting to see if they change their approach. You know, if you're not having success, sometimes you just got to change things up. Again, if you're not as good at being aggressive, then why not try to back away, do a little safer, cleaner start, and just play the shifts. Again, I keep bringing it up, but these shifts are big out there today, and that lends itself to maybe not match racing as aggressively, and you might have just gotten himself in trouble there.
Aggression, Ken, has been the name of the game so far, particularly in these pre-starts as Bernsen gets over the top of Williams' bow. Thought we were going to see a penalty. Yep, can't tell what flag that was. Probably green, but Bernsen is not out of the ropes yet. Windward leeward. Williams looked like there might be contact. Will Williams be right? Will Bernsen get a penalty? I don't know. It's in the umpire's hands. Colleen, what do you see?
Come on, that was definitely a penalty. Come on.
Well, Bernsen not happy. It was a green flag. Wow. Bernsen in a fight for his life. Just how close is that? 33 seconds to go. Bernsen is to leeward leading, Williams to windward. Williams could get boxed out here.
Häng med han. Häng med han. Inte. Segla.
Williams tacking back onto starboard here, building. 13 seconds to go. It's all about the trigger pull. I'd say both boats will be late to the start line at this point.
Here we go. Bows pulling forward. Ian Williams behind. Yanni Bernsen sheeting in first, up to pace, but they're not going to cross the line yet. Bernsen luffs. Williams in a bit of trouble here as the boats come together again.
He will attacking boat. He will attacking boat. Come on. Sure.
Oh, green flag yet again, but Williams is way behind. Bernsen has pulled forward. That's what he needs to do. No penalties yet, surprisingly. Yanni Bernsen, 2.5 lengths over Ian Williams, doing exactly what he needs to do to stay in the Con Cup. Kenny Reed, you've come through the semifinals to win this match. How much pressure is Bernsen under?
Well, he's under plenty, but I tell you what, if I were in Bernsen's boat that time, I would have had 2 flags against me. I'm really surprised that
Stand by.
It could be a personal thing, Kenny.
I thought I saw contact.
Yeah, I did too. Maybe there was, and the umpires didn't see it, out of position. I don't know, but you put your fate in the umpire's hands. You never know what's going to happen. Listening in on Bernsen's. I have no clue what they're saying, but it means they're winning.
All that money we gave the umpires actually paid off.
Do you remember the Swedish chef, the Muppets?
Ja, då är jag med. Då är jag med dig, Herman. Sorry, då är jag med.
Sorry, Yanni. I love him. He's a great guy. On board with Ian Williams. Not happy with his position. He's legging it out to the left-hand side. Pearson, do you see anything out there?
I think he's just taking a bit of risk here. I think at that start, Williams was in a nice position and just tried to be a hero and ended up being a zero there.
Kommer här. Platt vatten här.
Williams is tacked. Bernsen tacks. He's got starboard advantage. He's looking pretty strong, Josh.
Yeah, I'm saying at where Ian is right now, it's a long port, right? So he's got a long way to go on the tack he's on. So Bernsen would be smart to slam on him here and really try gas him.
That's a great shift there by Williams. This is a shifty course here. You got to stay loose, eyes up on the course. Williams coming back with a nice gain there. He's just trying to close the distance. He's going to have a tight. He's closed in. He's right on Bernsen's butt there. And he's going to keep playing the game. Come back when he's strong. Keep leveraging out when he's weak.
I'm always so impressed with Yanni Bernsen, former Swedish Sailor of the Year. Full-time job in the medical profession, doesn't train as much as these other guys, and yet he is consistently in the top. In his 13th Congressional Cup, he finished second last year. He's won it once. Can you imagine if he wins it again? How massive that would be. They love him in Sweden. They love him just as much here in Long Beach. Ian Williams doesn't feel the same way. Williams just needs one more race win. Look at the angle difference.
Absolutely, Tucker.
Is that shift? Is that mode?
I think that's all shift there, Tucker. This left side has really come in on this first beat.
He's just hit a big cave. Can you see him?
You're on board with Bernsen.
We haven't really got it yet.
Williams
you're
even
cool.
stronger.
You're cool, mate. Sorry.
But Bernsen still has that starboard card. He's still got to get around the bow of Bernsen if
it's
he wants
heading
to pass
me.
him.
Just our fastest way to the mark, I think, Sid.
Approaching the top mark.
He's
Big
caving
roll
hard.
for Bernsen. His ceiling just
Can I
went
tack?
straight up for a second.
Tacking now.
Now he's back. I don't think that's as much.
We'll see.
Williams
Big builds, we're real slow.
What's happening on Bernsen's boat? Bernsen is stepping into the lull of the
Lifting.
oil island.
That's unfortunate. Right.
Walk away, Josh.
Yeah, I think Williams is going to be out in clear air here away from the oil island. There's a good chance he'll bring in a left shift, which is about 5 seconds above him. And he'll be fast. He'll be right on his tail here. And that's all you can really ask for, you know. If you're within 3 lengths of the lead boat as you trail around the top mark and you have a good set, you're still within striking distance. And Bernsen now having a tack around just before his hoist, so he's going to be a bit slower here.
Yep. And there he is. Lower part of your screen as Williams comes on with pace. On board with Williams. There's some tension out there for both teams. Look how close Williams is to Bernsen. The advantage shifting to the trailing boat downwind. It's up to the crew now. Bernsen with a jibe set. Spinnaker looking a bit rough. Williams jibes to respond. His spinnaker not fully set either. The crew rushing to get the kites full as Williams gives chase to Bernsen. Kenny, what do you make of that move? Too aggressive?
No, it's just left shift. Listen, I give the Williams team big credit on that beat, though. They made initial gains, they got tacked on, and then they went right back again because they were in phase. They stayed in phase and kept it close rather than just doing a big split for the sake of doing a big split. That was nice and patient and kept it close and gave themselves a chance.
Williams definitely within striking distance, and as Kenny mentioned, he's very good at positioning his boat on the race course, arguably the chess master of the match racing game. He's also bringing some new breeze into Bernsen, gaining ever so slightly as he shifts up into a bit of a high mode.
Yeah, so they're in a left shift right now, which is what got Ian that gain coming into the top mark, which makes it longer on this jibe all the way down to the bottom. So Ian just putting his bow up to try and gas Yanni.
I've got to come down it now, okay?
On board here with Bernsen.
It's quite a big right
His tactician there with the luscious Swedish locks. Bernsen here cool as a cucumber. He's got absolute melons between his legs. No problem.
I'm not sure about the gloves he's wearing, though.
Oh, man. I'm going to leave that one right in my head. It was funny, though. Okay, so you heard Ian Williams say that the left gate looking downwind, right gate upwind is favored. Same thing Tara Canfield said. Now, Bernsen has the right to choose which mark he's going to go around. He's going to get to the zone first, right?
Yeah, and a lot of the time here, the zones have been overlapping for each mark. So you can actually, if you're Bernsen here and you lead into them, you can shut your opponent out of either mark, and you kind of just lead the drop. Let your boat slow down. It doesn't matter if you're a little bit slower because you still own it here. And if he jumps you on the drop, you can shut him out.
Yeah, that means get the kite down in Swedish, by the way. He's choosing to go left upwind. Williams will split. Williams will definitely go to the right gate, and there is a wind shift, a course change.
Course change to the red top mark.
So I think what's going on in Bernsen's head here is he saw Williams make some nice gains there on that left. And although there's some more, seems looking up the course, it looks like there's more breeze out there, but he's given up that starboard card, and he's elected to give Williams that right-hand side of the course and the right-of-way coming when the boats come back.
He's got massive heel angle out there, doesn't he?
Absolutely. He's definitely got more breeze out there.
Stand by.
But is it enough?
But it's
is
a
the
big
question.
left shift. I'm really surprised that Bernsen didn't just roll right into attack there, because you can make a case in a big left shift. Every minute they spend on starboard is a minute they could be getting further behind or making this thing closer.
I agree with you there. He sucked that knock for a little bit. Williams will get a small righty to get out of the corner here. That red top mark that we changed to is far left, so the race committee know that there's a huge left shift. Big split for the two teams right now.
Nervous moment. If you're Bernsen, is it going to stay left? Are you going to stay ahead? If you're Williams, will he get enough of a righty between the Oil Island and the Belmont Pier and get that starboard card, as you say, to bring the game to Bernsen? We're going to know right here. Both teams on opposite tacks. Williams on starboard, but behind. Bernsen will have to get across.
I personally feel like the left is looking pretty good here.
Bernsen certainly feels that way as well. There's the difference between the two boats. Again, for the Swedes from the left, you're right.
Good call, fellas. Easy to do it from the booth, isn't it?
Never lost a race from up here, Kenny. You know that.
I already lost all my races. That's why I'm here.
Bernsen going to plant one right on top as he continues to gain over Williams in a must-win match here in the semifinals. First to win 3. If things stay the same, it'll be 2-all, forcing a deciding 5th match as Williams tacks back to port. Very relaxed on board. It's easy to be relaxed when you're in the lead.
Yeah, it's easy when you're ahead.
Under power.
I know what that means in Swedish, Josh. Under power. What do you think?
Ja.
Yeah.
Kommer vi slag här?
You lost me on the rest of it, but
Segla i vind är viktigt nu och slå i vind är viktigt.
I couldn't have said it better myself right there. Tacking onto port in maybe less of a left angle, but still pressure. Meanwhile, Williams looks a little bit bow up all the way to the right-hand side. That's not good. He wants a righty, and every boat length he goes now, Pearson, towards that Oil Island could be dangerous if he gets up into the lull.
Yeah, I think Williams is just scrambling for anything he can right now. There's definitely just that left wind. This is a different race course than we've seen in previous races. Bernsen there is just wound up. He's breezed on. He's got a lot more white water splashing on that bow. Meanwhile, at Williams, just sort of bobbing there in the water.
I mean, two different breezes for sure. Williams has just gone from bad to worse. Massive shift on his bow. You can see it right there. Bernsen in the distance just gaining speed and angle. Both boats now on starboard ley line. It'll be a tack set for each. The mark in the background. One more spinnaker set, one more run to the finish for Bernsen to even the score. And just a quick update, folks. The Canfield and Pool match is going to be raced next. We see sails up on both boats, so stay tuned.
I just overheard the race officer on the radio saying that's the longest boat change he's ever seen in the history of match racing in Canfield.
Ja, bra där, bra Robban. Håll lutet här, Ja. Där har vi vinden hela vägen nu.
What a great call by the Swedes. Taking that right-hand turn, sending it to the left-hand side of the course. Just supreme confidence here by Yanni Bernsen.
Stand by, kommer slag.
To leverage out, give up that starboard card, and just come back boat lengths ahead. Just in a different zip code there than Williams.
Really, really calm on board.
He's light on that wheel, Tucker. And he's got those gloves on. My biggest problem sailing in the summer here is my hands, the top of my hands get too tan. I get terrible tan lines, but maybe Bernsen's got to figure it out.
No, he's making a fashion statement there, Kenny. Yanni Bernsen's hat, the floppy hat, and the goofy gloves. It works.
Yeah, no comment.
You know, North Sails has a clothing line. We can introduce Yanni to that. Kenny, remind me to tell you about yacht socks.
I think Yanni's team have just dressed up as the bottom gates.
Getting a bit punchy up here, you know. With Bernsen has such a big lead, we run out of things to talk about and start telling really dumb jokes. Or at least I do. You guys don't have that excuse.
I think Williams is going to have some words for the judges, is my guess, for that pre-start when this race is all over again. But he's got to shake it off and get back into it, not let it affect his next race start.
Kenny, that was an awesome call. I know our producer's listening in because he's doing his job. Maybe after the finish we can stay with the onboard audio on Ian Williams' boat for just a little while and listen in like a fly on the wall.
Absolutely. I think just to be aware of what these guys are discussing with the game, the level of professionalism these teams have is incredible.
Om du tittar nu på banan här och ska tänka dig nästa gång vi kryssar upp här. Är det vänsterkant man ska ut på långt kanske, eller? Så länge märket ligger vänster om ön. Ja. Ön gör jättestor skillnad. Det var det vi kände på första kryssen också. Så jag tänker spelet väldigt mycket utifrån hur ön är. Ja. Bra.
Yanni Bernsen just taking it fully into the finish, no problem. Just a delivery at this point.
Breeze is building here as well. They're in a good bit of puff.
It's expected to build all day long. These boats can sail up to 20 knots. That's the rule, and we're supposed to get more than 20 late in the day.
Rules are made to be broken. Keep going.
Very relaxed on board. There's Yanni Bernsen. It's a cross between a construction worker and a farmer.
Yeah.
Fashion statement.
Bra.
So this will even it up, right? And then it's a do or die for both teams from now on.
Yep.
Boy, they've really been bringing it to each other in the pre-start. There's no question. Bernsen has also been holding his own. In fact, giving it to the six-time world champion as they chuckle across the finish line. Bernsen very happy with that victory now. Both teams on 2 wins apiece, forcing a sudden death final match to see which of these two teams, Yanni Bernsen from Sweden or Ian Williams from Great Britain will move on to the 57th Congressional Cup Finals. And the sales are up for Taylor Canfield and Chris Poole, so we're going to get that match in play again when we rejoin the action soon. They are tied at 1 apiece. What does that mean? Plenty more action here in Long Beach, California as the Congressional Cup continues. For now, I'm Tucker Thompson with Josh Wijan, Pearson Potts, and Ken Reed. Guys, we're going to take a very short break and come right back with more racing action from the Congressional Cup in a minute, because first we're going to try and get an interview with either Bernsen winning or Ian Williams complaining to the umpires. We'll see. So stand by. Well, let's just get a bit of a wager going. On paper, you would have said, hey, Bernsen's, going to be easy for Williams to beat. That has not proven to be the case, and now we go into a deciding match. Who's your money on, Josh?
Well, I mean, Bernsen's had the same guys for a while. These are, and he's he'll be good in the breeze. He'll have good boat handling. Ian has.
Okay, so you like Bernsen. Let's go on board with Bernsen. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like we are all leveling up, and we're pushing the limits a bit more, both teams. For us, it was a decider to win this race, and okay, it was crucial in the start that we could pass over him when he tried to get a penalty on us, and from there we could keep the lead and extend because of the shifts and finding the right puffs way up on the course.
And is there anything you're looking for in today's big breeze?
Yeah, I mean, we take whatever breeze that comes. I don't think, Ian and his team is good in all conditions, so this fits us good, but we take whatever comes.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very relaxing, Yanni Bernsen. We'll take whatever it comes. I don't think Ian Williams' team is as relaxed, but interestingly, the scorecard is still the same for them. Let's go on board.
Well, disappointing one. I think we felt like we were in control. We felt he had to infringe a couple of times to get out of it, and I'm not quite sure why the umpires didn't see it our way, but there you go. You've just got to suck that up and keep fighting, and hopefully we can win the last one. All right.
Ian Williams.
Thank you. Do you want this thing?
He'll win the last one, and so is Yanni Bernsen.
Big cheers on the pier down here for Yanni Bernsen as he does a flyby of all the fans after that win to even it up with Ian.
Tucker, we got to ask Yanni at some stage, what's the affinity with Green Bay, the Green Bay Packers?
I'll get right on it. We're going to take a short break. Be right back. To the semifinals of the Congressional Cup. I'm Tucker Thompson, joined by Josh Wijan, Pearson Potts, and Ken Reed live from Newport, Rhode Island. We are into the next match. Canfield and Poole sat out for a little while, and now we're gonna find out which one of those two will go 2-1. Meanwhile, Ian Williams and Yanni Bernsen are both at 2-all, and this is a must-win decider match for both of these teams. Only one will move into the finals of the Congressional Cup. Breeze is on. Left-hand phase, big left-hand phase across the course.
Big left-hand phase. The whole course has moved to the left. Bernsen here is crossing on the downwind. That tells me that the pin is a bit lower than the boat, which advantages that start to the right-hand side to windward of your opponent.
Okay, so we now have a race course that's got a right-hand favored start, a left-hand favored beat, theoretically. How do you pack that, or unpack that, rather? So
they've gone to the red mark up top, they said, when they entered, and that's actually to the right of the marks they've set. With the boat being up, I would be starting at the boat and hoping to be on starboard with my opponent on starboard to leeward of me, and I'd be a little bit ahead of them at that point. And in this much breeze, you can just hold them and wait for them to tack, and then you make a decision about which side you want when you got that look up the course.
So you want to start to the right of your opponent. We're on board with Ian Williams. Can't hear the audio yet, but we will bring it up. 2 minutes, 35 seconds to go. Both boats still reaching away from the line on port. There's the first jibe, Bernsen. And Williams jibes to windward, very close here. We're on board. Have a look at Bernsen's bow. Swinging just behind there. Williams goes for a little bit of a hook. There's the signal boat in the background, so they are well above the ley line.
That's Bernsen there to windward with the Swedish flag. Ian Luffingham here. Ian there building on boat 7. Ian to leeward. 2 minutes to go. Bernsen's very early here.
Yeah, Ian aggressive now. There's a big spectator boat that might come into play here.
He just dropped anchor like while they were down there, and we were on board with them.
He's got to stay still. That's what they're all asked to do. Now Bernsen reaching over the top of Williams. Will he get it? I think yes. It's going to be close. Looking for a lead in position. Normally Williams is the one who likes to lead in at this time. Minute and a half to go. Cat flap up on the bow of Williams's boat. Now we swing up. You can see the signal boat. No, you can't see it yet, actually.
There it is, top left of screen.
Thank you. So we're low of ley line.
Williams then likes the right. He chose to go up there. Minute 20 to go, so they will both be on the line on time at this rate. Williams choosing to keep the right.
And Williams just a little bow forward, a little bit advanced on Bernsen. Minute 5 seconds to go. Very little time to kill.
Horn goes there. 1 minute to go.
Bernsen will be keeping an eye on the ley line to the pin end of the starting line. It's close.
Yeah.
Very close. Bernsen, could he be in a little bit of trouble here?
He could be, but, you know, if he is, he can laugh, and the boats will kind of make their way a bit closer to it. We'll see on board. We've got audio on board now, so let's hear what they're talking about. And I don't know what he's talking about.
No. He's saying, let's try and pinch Ian Williams off. Williams doing a good job kind of boxing him down there. 23 seconds to go. Williams in control at this point. Bernsen in a bit of trouble. Bernsen spinning around. He's going to tack onto port. Ian Williams lets him go, but the clock's going to tick down before Bernsen's up to full speed. Williams wanted the right, stayed to the right of his opponent, and now he's tacked to the right. Here comes the gun. Williams winds up on port to the right of his opponent, bow forward and gets up to speed before Yanni Bernsen. Bernsen just gets that tack, winds around at the pin end, little behind, but he's in the hunt. We're off. This, again, a must-win match for both teams.
With that boat in favor there, Williams will be a bit bow forward, but we're only a left shift away from equalizing this match.
Advantage to Ian Williams at this point.
We're on board with Ian and his team now. But we've still got Bernsen's audio there. I don't think Ian's speaking Swedish.
Unless he picked it up quite quickly overnight. Looks very calm on Ian's boat. Just off the Belmont Pier, both boats on port, and Bernsen just falling back a little bit to my eye as he watches Ian Williams below his boom.
Ian now turning up into attack back towards Bernsen. Let's see how close it is when they come together.
Bernsen ducking below and Williams letting him go, shifting to the left-hand side. The game is pretty close. Williams in charge, but would you give up starboard tack advantage, Pearson?
I don't know, Tucker. It's a tricky balance of fleet racing and covering your opponent. This course is a bit shifty than we've seen in the previous days. So I think Williams here is thinking of a fleet race. He thinks there's more breeze on that left-hand side. He's thinking of back. That prior race with Bernsen made some good gains on that left side.
Bernsen has just tacked behind Williams on his hip in a big puff. Massive right-hander. You can see the angle difference there. Kenny, you can see it all the way from Newport, Rhode Island.
Yeah, that was a great move.
Då är vi egentligen vänster om som vi inte ville då, men det kanske är det vi ska gå.
That's right, we just saw in that last shot Bernsen's bow coming back down, so he did tack in a little righty, but now he's into the left. So I think we'll see Ian come back and cross him soon as this lefty builds. On board with Bernsen now.
I think this race course, you kind of have to be a goldfish out here. An easy memory or forgetful memory. You just got to see what you got to look at what you see on the race course. Don't sort of stick to one particular game plan.
Comedy's all about timing in the delivery.
That's right.
Goldfish. All right, well, those two teams halfway up the beat. Ian Williams continuing to lead the charge. Bernsen giving chase. Let's go back down to the pre-start, boys, and take a look at Canfield and Poole. It was a very long break between the two. There was a breakdown. Now we're back in it. They are tied at 1-all in the pre-start. Less than 2 minutes to go to the start. Canfield left of screen on starboard. Poole tacking and avoiding on port. That boat in the foreground, not the committee boat, but a spectator boat. Committee boat to the far right-hand side of screen. Minute 30, minute 27 to go.
Blue flag. Poole just got a penalty on that.
And it's a penalty on Chris Poole. Blue flag penalty there.
Oh, man. Chris not happy with that, I am sure. That break probably helped Canfield a lot after that frustrating loss to Poole in the last match. Now Poole in a bit of trouble. 1 minute to go to the start. And as Kenny mentioned quite accurately, a blue flag penalty to shed as both boats tack on to port.
Canfield luffing up towards him with the right of way there. Poole avoiding.
Almost looked like another penalty there. Poole was coming down as a windward boat rather than going up and keeping clear.
Yeah, the umpires really struggle to give a penalty against Canfield, so probably on Poole that one.
Do you agree with that, Colleen? The umpires, any favoritism at all? No. Only competitors who are knocked out of the Con Cup have that opinion. Sorry, Josh. Split tacks. Poole heading for the line. What have we got? 20 seconds to go. Is Canfield in a bit of trouble? That may have been a nice move by Chris Poole. 2 down speed tacks for Canfield to head to the line. Less than 10 seconds to go. Big win for Chris Poole off the start. 2.5 lengths and counting is the delta. He has a penalty to undertake, but that's the way to win a start against the 5-time Congressional Cup champion.
Wow, you don't see that too often, Tucker. Poole here, we call that a crush start in the business.
We're going to leave them to it. Let's go into the top mark. It's close. Ian Williams, Yanni Bernsen. Williams left of screen on starboard. Bernsen has to tack away. Advantage Ian Williams. Bernsen did catch back up
He was in the zone.
Says he was in the zone. Not happy with that.
No.
Coaxing the umpires for a penalty. What's the call?
2, 1, hissa. Ja, det är bra. Hissa där, hissa, kom igen.
Less than half a boat length in it. No set from Yanni Bernsen. What's going on? A bit of trouble there.
Men sitter i Lovart, sitt.
No penalty either.
Bernsen, a higher angle. You can feel the tension on board. It was nowhere near as relaxed as it was before. Williams not out of the woods, even though he's ahead. This is an exciting match.
Kommer upp grann och
Now,
beredda.
Pearson, let's start talking strategy here with the wind shifts.
Yeah, Tucker. Bernsen's got to keep his cool here. Oh, sorry. Williams ahead here. Williams just got to keep his cool, stay to the left of his opponent. But he just wants to, as Bernsen closes in there, he flits the main, establishes himself as the right away, clear ahead, starboard boat. Playing a bit of defense here. Oh boy.
Oh, Williams putting himself in trouble there, it looks like. That may have been a mistake. Why did he do that? Now he's windward boat.
So
Bernsen could go for the roll. I can't tell if there's a penalty on that green flag.
Han har problem, segla.
Advantage Bernsen. There's a wrap on Williams' spinnaker. I might not be a six-time world champion, but what happened there?
Storen ut, han är igång
I think
igen.
Tucker Williams was playing a bit of defense there. Bernsen was close on his tail, and to prevent
Han kommer där,
sort of
gubbar,
a
han
lured
kommer, är ni
hook,
med? Han är
Williams
på
flipped
väg.
his main onto starboard.
Problemet var det att rulla över honom
Didn't
här.
work. You know what we're seeing here? That last over in this shot is that the upset, an upset occurring. Both
Kommer
the
bli ett
top two
svårt
teams
läge,
are
gubbar.
losing these matches.
Kör vi.
Incredible.
Vi kan ju inte göra så mycket mer än att åka här.
Tucker, I think Williams still in the controlling position.
Och
He
beredda nu på
hasn't lost
kicken,
his
gubbar.
cool. He's
Han
putting
kommer upp här.
Bernsen in what we call the downwind jail. He's in a very controlling position there, forcing Bernsen to the left-hand side of the course. Bernsen here cannot jibe. Williams here has just got to maintain his cool, stay where he is.
What's
He's in a
happening?
very controlling position.
Bernsen
Han
spinnaker
kommer där,
there.
han kommer där, han kommer där.
Just collapsed now. He's turning the favor onto, returning the favor rather to Williams. Pole was down. Jib's getting ready to go up. They're outside. Well outside the jibe line.
Gubbar. Jag vill gärna ta ner
Downwind jail
spinnaken
for
nu.
Bernsen. Williams is back in this match, back in control.
He just needs to make sure he's got his boat handling sorted here.
Drop
Let's
down,
have a
blåsa.
good drop. Bernsen deciding to lead the spinnaker douse. Just being ready for it here.
Both spinnakers going down. Williams, the leeward boat. Ley line is passed for the leeward gates. And Williams continuing to sail Bernsen away from the mark.
We're now parallel with the gate marks. Williams luffing Bernsen, then turning down for a jibe. Classic maneuver, that one. This will be a small game for Williams. Bernsen still dousing that spinnaker a little bit.
Yeah, Bernsen a little bit slow, struggling. Something's wrong with that leeward jib sheet. It's luffing, the boat speed dropping. Williams pulling ahead. Remember, whoever wins this goes to the finals. Williams had the lead stolen from him, and he just grabbed it right back with that move, leading into the leeward gate.
Crucial decision coming up here, which gate mark to do. You know, the right one's obviously closer to you, and looking at it, the left turn gate is further up the course. So it's not over here. He could still cook it.
Well, and if you choose the left-hand gate looking upwind, it's a big jibe,
Det känns som att
right?
det är
It's
väldigt
basically
mycket
almost a
vänster, va?
180-degree turn versus just going straight. And a very easy wind-up, which is
Eller,
what they're
ja, har
going
jag
to
fel?
choose
Säg.
to the right, heading upwind on port. Bernsen can't even split.
Kom igen nu.
Yeah,
He's
so
got to
it's just-
follow around.
Ja,
It's just
jajamän.
too
Kom in
favoured,
här.
that mark
Börja komma,
currently.
smyga här, gubbar.
Quick tack for Bernsen, you think?
So
think so.
Bernsen here knows that other turn mark is way below. He elects to follow
kan slå
Williams
här.
around this gate, minimize,
här.
stop the bleeding, and just try to stay close.
Ja.
Here, Bernsen flopping,
Två,
just trying
ett.
to split, just trying to shake Williams with anything. Right now, it's Williams' race to lose.
Masterful
Go
job.
back to that run.
Han
It
står
was
stilla i
interesting
vågorna, va? Eller det gör vi också.
Yep.
Här kommer jag igen, här kommer jag igen.
had the chance to get starboard side of him, hit starboard tack, and it goes really the wrong
Bra
side.
gäng, gubbar. Kom igen. Han kommer vi här alldeles strax i nästa här. Här
Really
kommer vi
easy
här.
to then control. That starboard tack has so much control on the run.
Jävligt bra jobbat där Jobba. Vi träffar vågorna så jävla rätt.
It's so easy for
Looks
the other
windier,
boat to
guys.
breathe
Is it
behind on the
windier
downwind.
up there right now?
Yeah, breeze is definitely up all the way across the track. It's a bit more even.
Okej, byarna nu Herman om vi kan.
And a big split, one of the biggest splits we have seen. Ian Williams electing to let Yanni Bernsen go on starboard to the left of the racetrack. Williams
Här kommer
continuing
någonting mot.
on
Här
port.
ska jag ta den.
Pearson, he's tacking now, or Ian Williams is, you can't see him, but it looked more like a lull than a header that he just tacked in.
I agree with you there, Tucker.
That happens rarely.
Yeah, you can see
Ja, jag ligger
Williams'
fortfarande
mast there
lite
goes straight
mot.
vertical. I don't like how Williams split.
Ja, då är det bra
as
för då
much.
skulle vi nästan kunna
would've been
krossa
more
in va?
comfortable going straight with
Eller, ja,
Johnny
eller så är det
there.
långterm och ligga här. Ja, ja.
Yanni really powered up
Vad sa
on
du?
that left side.
Okej. Ja. Ja, bra jobbat nu med stora Robban. Varje meter här nu är jävligt
Meanwhile,
viktig.
Bernsen is just steamrolling on that
Ja,
left-hand
copy.
side of the course.
Sannolikt kommer det lyfta här, det gjorde det förut va? Här är någonting.
It's not what we see from Ian normally. Ian likes to keep it close.
Yeah.
He doesn't normally take a gamble like that. So it's going to be interesting to
Yeah.
see how they come together in this next cross because there's a big split between the two boats.
Är det,
Now,
det är inte, det ligger kvar samma ungefär. Det är någon tendens mot är det faktiskt.
you're listening to Yanni Bernsen.
Nu är det
looking
lite
at-
mot
there,
det.
that's the shot I was hoping for. Is
Nu är det
that
lite
Chris
mot.
Poole ahead of Canfield?
And
It is.
Ja, det blir inte mer än så här nu när det är
Big
mycket
lead too.
vågor.
Poole's heading downwind with that Long Beach Yacht Club spinnaker.
Ännu mer mot här.
Canfield, not sure what
Kommer
happened.
här, ja.
7 lengths back, easily.
Yeah, and I mean, Paul still knows what to do. He was
Nej,
in this
det
situation.
vill vi nästan inte ha heller.
Penalty.
Ja, nästan nej.
You just feel like there's momentum with Poole.
Problemet vi har
this
är att
year
vi har
compared to
ett
previous
ganska
years. Yes, he made
intressant
it to
möte
fourth
här.
in the last Con Cup, which was impressive, but this is a different Chris Poole than we're used to seeing.
Yeah, just make it clear to everyone again. Sorry if we've just crossed over matches here, and right now we're back to Ian on the camera, and it's Bernsen dipping Ian Williams. In the other match,
Whoa, look
Chris
at that.
Poole leads by a long way, but with a penalty.
Close. Bernsen got back ahead.
It's Ian
Sorry,
up to
Williams,
weather there.
rather.
Bernsen
Now
to
it's
leeward.
bow to bow.
So clearly, with it being a dip rather than a cross there, he actually lost out in the right.
Nothing in it between these two. The question now is Bernsen on ley line?
Yeah, and it's very close here.
Where is the mark? Can Bernsen get up around it and hold off Ian Williams, or is Ian Williams going to take control, box him out, and control when he's going to attack for the starboard ley line? I can't tell from here looking at it. Pearson, what do you think?
Tucker, I think that the boats are below that
Men att
2
slå
boat
här är
length
ingen
zone to
idé.
the mark. I could be wrong.
Kommer han dra in oss
But
i
I
mjugget
think
här inne?
Williams is still in the controlling position.
There's the mark, I think. Far left, Williams right behind Williams.
Yep. The Williams here is still in the controlling position.
Nice
Williams
job.
has done a nice job. Sort of a risky maneuver with that duck, but he managed to claw it back, pull it back
Det är bra
together,
jobbat här med stora.
keep it calm.
Han vill gärna köra långt in här.
So after
Josh,
Williams,
if you're Bernsen right now,
Yeah.
what are your options when Williams tacks?
Kommer här.
you just want to try and be just above his gas, kind of breathing down his neck right behind him, you know, which he's done. See, he's just still breathing. He's going to be fast. He needs to come in and have a great rounding. Hope that maybe Ian stuffs it up. But even if he doesn't, he's right with him. It's still 2
Släpp,
lengths or so ahead, and he's going to
släpp
be
Gibb, släpp Gibb.
ready to gas him around
Ja,
this
bra.
mark from down.
Släpp Gibb, släpp
And Kenny,
stor.
it's going to be a tack set for both of these teams. Game on downwind. Close.
Grabbar, nu kommer vi sätta många mycket på ett kort här. Det gäller att få en överlapp och en styrbord på honom. Vi kommer att försöka saxa över honom för att ta hans vind. Stand by. Kommer vi på slag. Om 2,
Bernsen follows it
1.
closely.
Kommer vi där? Ge mig stora.
Not particularly
nej,
fast
nej.
set for Ian here. Spinnaker's still coming out the hatch.
2, 1. Hissa.
On board with Bernsen.
Kom
Let's see
igen.
how he does. This is his moment. It's got to be a perfect set. And it is.
That's Ian Williams with the stellar Spinnaker, leading Yanni Bernsen with the Farmers and Merchant Bank Spinnaker. No penalty either way. The first one to cross the line at the end of this leg will be the winner of this race. Ian has the lead, but he's not safe here. The Spinnaker just getting affected by
Gibben in om du
both
kan.
boats putting the bows
Vikt upp.
towards the breeze. What's happening here is Ian's just trying to make sure he keeps clear air on his Spinnaker. And Bernsen's putting his bow up to threaten a roll here. Kind of makes the game drag out longer, lengthens the entire downwind for Bernsen to attack here. Kind of good standard play from Bernsen.
Ja, var beredd.
Still with their bows up there.
Ja. Kom igen. Kom igen nu.
This next jibe is going to be crucial.
Absolutely, Tucker. And you can see Yanni Bernsen there loading the shotgun, soaking down on Williams. He's got 2 in the chamber. Ready for the jibe on Williams.
Vi måste vara med på en snabb
He's
gift,
just a bit
gubbar.
worried about that downwind jail position he was in last time, right? Doesn't want to be there again.
Han kommer där,
There
han
it
kommer.
is.
Kör.
Williams jibing first, and Bernsen was not ready for it.
Ja, det är bra.
Nice move by Ian
Och
Williams.
beredda på en
Bernsen needed
gift
to match
tillbaka,
and try to come out
kanske.
hotter. He
Inte än
was just a bit
riktigt.
behind. Maybe he looked at his shoe for a half a second, and Williams knows that was the moment he needed.
Bra.
Is Williams'
Kör vi
hair
här,
clear
kör vi här.
ahead? This is to the finish. Only one moves on to
Beredda, vi ska kunna gå
the
bakom honom någon
finals.
gång.
Now, can Bernsen get up over the top of Ian Williams' Spinnaker and affect him and then roll him and have enough room to jibe to the finish, or will Williams hold Bernsen
Här,
out? There goes Williams'
var beredda.
Spinnaker.
Var beredda, vänta. Vi
Bernsen
kommer gå under
coming
honom
on
och vi
strong
ska gå
from
under
behind.
honom.
Williams is going to put his bow up even
Visa
higher,
ut,
trying to get his
visa
air
ut.
clear,
För
sliding
helvete.
forward. Williams regains the lead,
Jipp,
jibes
jippa,
away. He
jippa
doesn't like
tillbaka,
this
jippa, kom
game.
igen.
He's going to give it up. Bernsen now the aggressor. He'll jibe behind Williams. Giving chase. Is Williams on ley line for the finish?
Kom igen.
Heading for
Kom
home.
igen.
Or can Bernsen do it again?
Släpp fram den lite då
Do
om
we have
han
another
inte
jibe? What do you think?
Definitely
får den
have
att stå.
another jibe to
Vi,
come.
vi vinner liksom inte matchen om vi inte
Williams still
kommer ikapp.
leading. It's not very long on the other jibe though. He might be able to soak down to the finish line.
For a moment, Bernsen had massive wheels, but all of a sudden, Ian
Här, kom igen,
Williams
kom igen,
is
jip,
just
jip, jip,
walking
jip.
away
Kom
from
här.
it.
And this is match point. If Ian crosses here, Bernsen's out.
Yep. Time running
Kom
out
igen
for
nu,
the
kom igen.
Swedish team in this
Segla, segla
Congressional
bara.
Cup, and Yanni Bernsen knows it. Ian Williams fought hard for it. It came all the way down to the last match. He and the Gladstone's Long Beach team will go on to the finals yet again in the 57th Annual Congressional Cup. Congratulations, Ian Williams.
You know, it kind of worked against the Bernsen team there. That it was really a skewed run. There was so much port tack in the run. It was hard for him to ever square him up. And when he did square him up, it was just for a short period of time. So a bit unfortunate for the folk behind when you're in that situation. But got to give the Williams team plenty of credit. They were not going to let go of starboard on that run. That's for sure.
Yeah, this is definitely an odd-shaped course, and it doesn't leave very much room for the trailing boat to pass. Williams, we're going to set up, I believe, an interview. Is that correct, on board? Okay, not Williams. We have Yanni Bernsen available. Okay, few minutes. Stand by while we tee up an interview with Yanni Bernsen. Meanwhile, the other match is heading downwind. Chris Poole is leading. In fact, he may have even gained a bit more over Taylor Canfield. Remember, first to win 3, this will be Poole's second race over the 5-time Congressional Cup champion.
But does he still have a penalty, Tucker? Do we know if
Yep,
he still
good
has
point.
that penalty from the preseason?
All right, well, we're going to leave that match for 1 second. Let's hear from Yanni Bernsen on board.
Jag gjorde ju ett jävla fuck-up där när vi skulle... Jag tänkte jag skulle hjälpa dig med...
Rather, Ian Williams. That looks a lot like Ian Williams. I know what he's saying. Well, it's really great, Johnny. Johnny did a good job, but in the end, you know, we just had to put it together a little bit better.
I mean, if if we're having audio issues, it'd be awesome
right.
to go back
Well,
to the other match.
We'll
'Cause
come back
Paul
to
was
Ian Williams
leading.
because right now Chris Poole has a penalty to undertake, and he's 7 boat lengths ahead of his opponent, Taylor Canfield. That is massive, and I think we got to stay with it. Here it is. Coming into the finish, does he have enough room to drop the kite below the gooseneck, get the jib up, spin his penalty turn, and cross the finish line ahead of Taylor Canfield?
That is the big question. I think he will just have enough time if he does it well. Sorry, Ken.
Ken, we got just a couple feet to the finish. It's all going to come down right here. The jib is up. Now the spinnaker getting ready to be dropped.
Whoa!
Canfield coming on from behind. Don't drop it in the water, boys. You got to get that spinnaker all the way on board and below the gooseneck. Half a length to the finish. Chris Poole spins up as the crew just gets that spinnaker under control, but the head's got to be below the gooseneck. It's got to be lower. It's got to be lower. No. Canfield coming on strong from behind. Chris Poole's not going to do it. It's going to go to Canfield. An incredible victory from behind. Kenny, that is where crew work can either make or break your race, and that spinnaker did not come down.
Yeah, I was going to put Josh and Pearson under pressure there. That 5.5 boat length rule that you guys talked about earlier, man, that was right on it. That was close, wasn't it?
Oh, man. That kind of reminded me of the finish of the America's Cup in Valencia in 07. Came down to the last second there. Canfield, now let's just be fair. There is still another race to go, possibly 2 between those two.
Wonder if Chris Poole's going to catch anything here.
Frustration, they're still sorting that spinnaker out. It's gone from bad to worse. The race is over, but the fight with the spinnaker is still going on.
I think we'll be having shrimp for dinner.
Well, if it rips, Kenny will sell him a new one right here in the broadcast.
No problem. I'm at the loft right now. I can have that done in 10 minutes.
What I like about Kenny, he's on it. Oh, now it goes out the back. Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out.
Oh, we call this the scorpion.
Out the back.
There we go. The scorpion tail on the back of the boat there.
Yeah, I hate to, to make fun of what's going on here, but poor Poole. I mean, that was Poole's race to lose. 7 lengths ahead. He had enough distance to spin that penalty turn. Now he's going to try and dredge the bottom of Long Beach with it. Oh, my Lord.
There we
it's
go.
filling
That's
up.
what I call the scorpion.
Crowd's going wild here on the pier at Long Beach. Oh, my goodness. Kenny Reed is getting ready to drop ship another spinnaker out here. Chris Poole, I'm so sorry.
They're too strong. Those spinnakers are too well made.
Yeah, that is a problem, isn't it? I mean, what do? Smoke the halyard? And you know what? I hate to say this, guys, but the entire world is watching, and everyone on the pier. There's a press conference tonight. You can't hide from this.
Yeah, I mean, I just stand by for a chase boat drop here.
A chase boat. I mean,
but you know, guys, he almost hopes that it's torn right now because now he's going to have to play with a completely soaking wet spinnaker in this next race, in the race that counts. So, in a way, he wants to be able to replace it.
They'll change it out. They'd have to. They'd have to give him a fresh one.
Fortunately, that is the Long Beach spinnaker.
That's the Long Beach Yacht Club spinnaker. Ken, I mean, legitimate question, Ken, to a sailmaker. With that much, water pressure, does it stretch the fabric out in the seams a little bit, and therefore another, making another spinnaker required in the next match?
I don't think so. It's probably okay, but the weight, and especially in the hoist, it's going to be that wet kite is going to be a real problem.
So
it's windy there now, guys.
Yeah, no, it's game on out here. In the match between Chris Poole and the spinnaker, it is the spinnaker 1 and Poole 0.
Do you think he could have pulled off his turn if they hadn't dropped the kite over the bow?
Personally, now, these two guys just sailed these boats for many days. I personally thought he had just barely enough if it had been done perfectly. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think if it had been perfect, he would have had just enough. Needed to make sure that jib was going to be backed as he came straight over the line after his tack. But it was tight. I still think it was the right call, to be honest. He just needed to nail it a bit better.
Yep, and that comes down to crew work, unfortunately. However, he will have another shot at it. Canfield is up 2-1. Williams is going through, folks. So when we come back, we will see if Chris Poole can hang on and turn the tide. He's sailed so well this far. Or can the 5-time Crimson Blazer winner Taylor Canfield and crew seal the deal in the next match? We'll see. Stay with us in Long Beach, California. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Welcome back, folks. We are into the final two pairs to determine which one of these teams will go on to the finals and face Ian Williams. Canfield is currently 2 points up over Chris Poole in a first-to-win three-match semifinals, and here we go, boys, right into it. 3:35, no dial-up, left-hand shift, or at least it's going to be a dial-up with the port boat almost getting across. That's Taylor Canfield. Chris Poole rolls up to windward of him. We're into the dial-up here, coming up on 3:20.
Yeah, and if you've followed us for the other few matches today, the breeze has now picked up even more. I'd say it's around 20 knots or so, maybe more in the puffs. This is the windiest I've seen this venue myself.
Definitely pushing the limits for the boats here in Long Beach and for the sailors. And if you're just joining us live on Facebook or YouTube, we'd love to hear from you. We've got Ken Reed live back in Newport, Rhode Island, Josh Wijan, Pearson Potts, plenty of knowledge. And then there's me. So if you guys have questions, feel free to fire them to us or comments on Facebook and YouTube. Follow the Con Cup. We'll be live tomorrow for the finals. One of these two teams will be in the finals against Ian Williams. Taylor Canfield, on paper, the most likely choice, has sailed Williams millions of times. But Chris Poole sayling better than he ever has in the Con Cup.
Yeah, and I mean, Chris Poole there just couldn't kill his penalty in that last start. Otherwise, in that last race, otherwise we'd be, you know, Chris Poole 2, Canfield 1. So don't count him out yet, you know.
Now,
Match point.
Real quick, let's bring Ken Reed into the broadcast. Ken, do you think we're going to see more aggression? Everything's on the line for Poole.
Well, again, the breeze is the big factor here. I agree. I've never seen Indy out there in that area as well. So this is going to be fascinating to watch. I think the breeze is going to be the big qualifier.
7 Congressional Cups Chris Poole has sailed. He's never made it better than 4th. But he just looks to me like he is a different sailor than we have seen before. He's more poised, he's calmer, he's more mature, kind of like Canfield and Williams and Bernsen. He has earned this spot in the semifinals. Now can he earn a spot in the finals? He'll have to outsail Canfield not once, but twice. Meanwhile, Canfield looking for a record 6 Crimson Blazer. More work to go for both. Minute 20 to go, boys.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give credit to the crew there as well. You know, Joachim Aschenbrenner's been sailing with him a bit lately, and he's helped them put together a really, really solid crew, and they're doing quite well. They're impressing everyone around them.
Poole
Just over a minute to go.
Yep, coming up on the 1 minute mark. Poole to leeward. We're below ley line for the committee boat. Pin favored start. Shifty breeze.
Canfield diving down for a hook here. Canfield pushing from the leeward side. Potentially an overlap. Bauman's still swinging his arm, which means he's got swing. Means he won't hit him if he tries to. 45 seconds there.
Yeah, not much time to kill. Poole goes for a little dig.
Poole now up into the wind.
Poole slowed down quite a lot there. Let Canfield slip inside of him. Do you think that means he wants the right?
Either that or it means he's early, you know, and Canfield did choose to do that. So I think Canfield wants the left, if anything, myself.
Fair point. Pin is favored. 25 seconds to go. Canfield has got the left if he wants it. Chris Poole likely will have to tack. We might see a split tack start. Yes, bows down. On starboard, Taylor Canfield heads for the pin. On port, Chris Poole heads for the signal boat. 10 seconds to go.
Yellow flag up.
What's that?
Yellow flag
Poole
up.
just got a penalty.
In that last transaction, perhaps. Windward leeward, we're going to hear from the umpires. So Poole in a bit of trouble. Otherwise, an even start. Canfield flops immediately onto port in the background to stay with Chris Poole. Chris Poole outsailed Canfield with a penalty in the last match, but it came down to a crew error. Can he do it again as he starts a penalty down?
So this is Chris Poole, a penalty down in every pre-start so far, pretty much, isn't it?
You know, you bring up a very solid point, and if you are going to go on to the finals of the Congressional Cup, you can't be doing that, right?
No, you can't be.
Now, Pearson, can he pull it off, or do you think Canfield already has 5 Crimson Blazers and an entire shelf to hang them on, will simply outsail Poole in this match?
Canfield's just going to try and put the hammer down here, let her eat. He's got to keep it a little more conservative. I bet he's got that second race in the back of his mind, but Poole does still have, he's got that starboard cord heading out here to the right-hand side of the course. It's not over yet, Tucker.
Kenny called it. I didn't see that windward leeward, I guess, where Poole got the penalty. But at this level, You live by the sword, you die by the sword.
It sure feels like these guys are stepping into a right-hand shift. At least the feeling here from a desk in Portland.
I agree with you there, Ken, and we can see Chris Poole's bow coming down towards the pair there. So he's in the righty at the moment. Canfield just starting to come down now. It's probably a good time for Chris to think about going back.
You know, either Kenny woke up or we're falling asleep because we're live, and he's calling more from 3,000 miles away than we are.
He's just that
Thank
good.
you, Ken. But
this
he's
is
right.
the pride of Portland, Maine out there, Chris Poole.
Yeah, no, but you are right. You are right. Chris Poole is bow forward, plenty of leverage, sailing into a righty. He's going to have starboard advantage. He does have that penalty to undertake.
Personally, from how I see it, I don't think Chris Poole is crossing here. So if I was him, I'd be tacking back now while Canfield's down in that righty, make the most of it,
Good point,
and then
Dragon.
try get into attacking duel and drag that game back to the middle.
So, Pearson, why isn't he?
I think he's just trying to leverage out. He's trying to throw the kitchen sink against the wall here, trying to give it everything he's got. He's coming back on a nice righty here.
Bit of a slow tack on the headsail there, but here we go. Port starboard, head-to-head. Canfield, is he across? Tough to tell in this position. It's going to be a loose lee bow for Canfield.
So Chris Poole must be pretty much bow even with him there because Canfield didn't want to go all the way to Chris and tack under him. So, you know, it's pretty even. Probably a little advantage Canfield now.
Is it me, or does Chris Poole have wheels compared to Canfield? Because he keeps bringing the match to Canfield.
Well, we had this back and forth in the briefing, the skipper's briefing this morning about hiking, and some people didn't like the way Taylor's team were hiking. The umpires put out a clarification on that, and that's that now you can hike off pretty much any rope on the boat, and Chris Poole's team were not doing that earlier in the regatta. Canfield's team were. So they have found some extra riding moment
They certainly
now.
are now. Canfield, to my eye, was heeled more than Poole, that entire starboard tack. Now we tack for the mark. Pearson, are they on ley line?
Tough to tell here, Tucker.
That's why I like a definitive answer. Well, Kenny, you can see more. More with less.
No. What is it?
I don't think we are. We're going to the,
What
what's
is
the
that
yellow mark?
movie? Best in Show. That just reminded me of a scene from Best in Show.
Just to let our viewers know, we have one camera on here. It's too windy to fly the drone. That and the other team sailed in with our cameras, onboard camera people. So your guess is as good as ours. I don't think they're on ley line, which means Canfield's done a nice job kind of boxing Poole off to the right.
Yes, I think Canfield's probably blocking Poole's tack where he's sitting right now. So if you're Canfield, boat number 5, left of screen here, you want to just drag this out to a good ley line. You want to be not overlaid, but you want to be right on your ley line so that you can squeeze up to Chris Poole and try gas him on that ley line, get some extra boat lengths out of him there. Canfield now turning up into attack. So he led that, which means he must be thinking he's on ley line there. Poole matching just above his line. Poole's not out of striking distance here. It's still all on. He does have a penalty, but you're never safe in this much wind.
So guys, just let us all know what's the race score between these two guys.
Race score is Canfield 2, Poole 1. It's almost a win for Poole, but Canfield's up 2-1. First to win 3 matches goes to the finals against Ian Williams.
Just making that
Canfield's
clear.
got
It's
2 points.
First to get 3 points because you can be a doctor point for a crash, which is not uncommon for these guys.
That'd be fun.
That'd be nice. Sorry, Long Beach.
Canfield leading Poole. Poole close enough to attack on the run, but he's got that yellow flag looming in the background on the umpire. He'll be hating that pre-start. Got to shake it off. He's already passed Canfield and almost shed a penalty once. Can he do it yet again? Or will Canfield seal the deal? There is the mark. Canfield's going to get to it first. Poole follows suit. Into the set.
Only a 7-second lead there for Canfield. Good spinnaker set. Didn't quite make the halyard, but it's set and he's off.
That was
Poole,
awesome.
A little bit slower.
Yeah, Poole's a little bit slower. That's not going to be good.
And so he's gone for another spinnaker.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Poole's, during the break, Kenny, we were trying to come up with a new name. Chris is Riptide Racing. We were thinking of Ripkite Racing. What else were you coming up with?
Well, the real issue is that Riptide Racing ripped their kite in the tide.
Sorry, Chris.
All right, you guys got to get it together, fellas.
I like what Poole's done here. He's affecting Canfield's breeze. Just jibing on top of him there. It's going to be long starboard into the gate, so if he's going to make a move, it's going to have to be here on this jibe.
Tucker, right. It's so windy here that Canfield isn't that worried about Poole's bad air here. The wind just goes right around. It's nuclear out here. Just walked outside, and for the race fans at home, it is just dogs off chains out here. Walked outside, and my clothes almost ripped off. It's so windy.
That was because of the fans.
Got to give them what they want, Tucker.
Sometimes comedy falls on deaf ears.
Canfield slipping into a very controlling position. I don't think Poole can jibe back onto port there. So Canfield electing to hold him out, prevent Poole from jibing. And they got a one-way ticket to downwind jail currently.
Downwind jail. Kenny, this move is setting up like a Gavin Brady, Ken Reed match I saw once.
Well, you know, it's also interesting that it's so heavy that the quarter weight really makes a difference. So you can lock an opponent into a bad quarter weight, or you can kind of ride on an opponent's quarter weight. And Taylor's kind of notched into the quarter weight boat to weather, and it's really hard to get out. Like,
good point.
The weather boat is, they can't get forward enough.
Chris Poole electing to pull his jib up and pole away first. Canfield matching now. They still have one more jibe to get down to the bottom gate.
And you can't see it.
Putting the bow
Sorry,
up.
but it's about 45 degrees to their left and a good couple lengths, so they have to jibe, and Canfield keeping Poole from doing so.
This is a repeat of the Ian Williams, Yanni Bernsen situation we just saw. Poole dousing his spinnaker. Hopefully that's not in the water. Looks very close to it. Canfield matching. Canfield with the right of way here. Closest boat to the camera. Lured boat there.
Big jibe.
Poole turns
Poole
up
first.
and tacks.
Or rather, attack for Poole. Canfield jibes around leading. Poole has gotten rid of his penalty, has he? Yes, it's down. So now it's all even. Canfield will lead into the marks, but Poole has got a shot.
Good little play there from Chris Poole, you know. Canfield held him out, and he just made the most of that tricky little situation he was in.
Canfield will round in the lead, taking the right, looking upwind. I don't think Poole's going to do a button hook 180-degree turn around that opposite mark, so he has to follow Canfield around.
Should be into an early tack here. I appreciate that from Poole, you know. Canfield and team, maybe a little mistake there. They should have gone right on the ley line earlier so that wasn't an option for Chris Poole to just clear his penalty so easily. He's only 3 lengths behind now, and he's got no penalty, so he's in hunting pace, you know. He's in hunting distance here.
He's reeled Canfield in that last race. He reeled
That's
him
a very good call, Josh. He, by going a little beyond ley line, he actually gave the Poole squad there a bit of a reprieve.
Tacking away. Canfield continues.
Seen a lot of lefties today as well, you know, so Canfield, bit of a gamble here to split. I personally would have just, you know, stayed right on top of Chris Poole. I don't want to give him any chances here. Canfield just over towards the oil island. Chris Poole making his way to the left. Both of them should have a little shift out of each corner to come back on. It's just whichever one is the strongest and pays off the most.
As we look, breeze, yeah.
We're looking on board at Canfield right now, and his team all hiking as hard as they can, just trying to get the most out of this. If they win this, they continue on to the final. If Chris Poole wins this, they have to go another race.
Going to be out here longer if he wins. You know, as you've been talking, Canfield is continuing to just sail into more pressure to the right-hand side. We've seen some holes out here, but right now Canfield looking strong. His opponent, Poole, has tacked all the way to the left-hand side. Most leverage we have seen. Lateral separation between the two boats, and here comes Canfield to converge. So this next cross is going to be big for both teams.
Looked like he tacked right into a nice little right-hand shift right there.
Yeah, there definitely is a righty out there, Ken. He should be looking good, but I still don't think it's a gamble I would take right now. I'd just match when you're 3 lengths ahead like that. Maybe he thinks he needs more for the downwind just to keep it going.
You know, compared to Ian Williams, and we talked about this a couple races ago, who likes to keep the game very close and sail positionally against his opponent. Canfield's a bit looser. He plays the course a bit more expansively. And it's a big gamble to the right as Poole faces him from the left. Poole got rid of his penalty, was 3 lengths behind at the bottom of the track. Has he got enough left-hand shift to get back in this, or did Canfield and Mike Buckley pick the right side of the course?
Now, this is just as hard for us to see as it is for you guys, so I'm really looking forward to see who will be ahead here as both boats come together. Just out of frame, you've got Poole on the left, Canfield on the right there.
Yep, Canfield's got it. In control.
Yeah, gone. That was a big right. You could see his head start to back just before he attacked there. He kind of almost like a little bit of an auto attack. That was a big right trick to look like.
Now Canfield will tack. The next question, is he on ley line?
I think Canfield's gone to ley line, and I think Poole is tacking just under.
Sounds like Canfield has a commanding 4-boat length lead here, electing to sail out to that port ley line just to have an easier set on the crew, as opposed to covering and having 2 extra tacks on Poole. So he sails out to that port ley line. Ooh, coming back, not quite on ley line.
Difficult
Poole does as well. Poole tacks again. Now will Canfield go all the way to ley line? Main dumping there a little bit as he gets into a bit more pressure. There's the mark in the background. Tough to tell. That looks like ley line.
Yeah, it's a really difficult perspective. We're looking straight upwind at it from our commentary box here, just the same angle as you guys are from the
Into
camera.
the sun. Big dump on both sails there. Is that a lefty?
I think it's an overlay.
Just sailed this beat beautifully as far as the shifts go. He's increased his lead, but he is not on ley line. Now he's going to tack. And it's going to be a tack set.
That's not fast.
Why wouldn't you have just gone to ley line?
I mean, there's that oil island there. You know, maybe there's a wind shadow right there that they're kind of just skirting around, just staying just out of.
Kenny, would you have gone to ley line or done those extra 2 tacks?
Depends how much you like your crew. He doesn't like his crew very much.
Hey, he's in the lead. Can't argue with that. Oh, how you're dropped a little bit there. They caught it. Here comes Poole. Poole, if you want to move on in the Congressional Cup, this is it, buddy. Time running out. You have got to make your move right here. Set up a little bit low, perhaps anticipating the next jibe. Good set as Canfield still working to sort that halyard out. It is 3 feet low. And Poole going high. Canfield's going to beat him to the jibe. Poole responds.
Yeah, just simple defense here for Canfield. Canfield just not worried much at all. Got his breeze ahead there. Just keeping it just ahead, just doing simple tactics, keeping himself between Poole and the finish.
It's quiet out here on the pier, I'll tell you. Everybody's glued.
I think there's a lot of Chris Poole fans here.
Yeah. Like I keep saying, he's really come a long way. Now in his 7th Congressional Cup, when you look upwind, it looks a lot closer than perhaps it is. Perspective is tough. I'm pretty sure Chris Poole wishes it looked even much closer than that.
Yeah, I mean, but he's done really well. This is the best he's done at a Con Cup with all the international competitors here. You know, he did well last time, but everyone wasn't here, right?
There you can see the spinnaker top of Canfield's mast.
If he can hear us on the loudspeaker, pull your spinnaker up, please.
Yep, pull your kite up. We have the president of North Sails watching. You got to represent, make it look good. Canfield. Things stay as they are. It's going to be a Canfield-Williams finals. I think I've said that probably more than a dozen times in my career. Yet again, Chris Poole has fought so hard. Just when you think he's out, he comes back again and again. He's sailing really well. It's a game of inches, and right now, Canfield.
He's in a good knock there. He's kind of in his own private path.
Who, Poole?
Canfield is a good puff rolling through right where he is.
It's a lefty, too, so that's just going to help him even more. You can see the shoulders dropping a little bit on Canfield's boat. Little sigh of relief. The game is almost over. It's a first to win 3 matches, and like we've said, Williams has already done it. He's into the finals. Chris Poole had his shot. Canfield looking to seal the deal right here.
Yeah, just proving that Canfield can do it, no problem. Still ready for himself to position himself as the yellow entry for the finals.
Yep. Well, Poole made him work for it, though, to be fair. He chose Poole.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't easy, but victory well earned nonetheless. Taylor Canfield and his Stars and Stripes Team USA crew take victory in the final semifinal race over Chris Poole, and that means he goes on to the finals of the 57th Annual Congressional Cup to face his arch nemesis, Ian Williams. Kenny Reed, great day of racing.
Great day of racing, and shout out to everybody out at Long Beach. They every time I did that, we got just good friends out there and good people, and how they take care of all the sailors. It's such a cool regatta to do, and it's because of them, because of the yacht club and just the yacht club members. So really special shout out to everybody out there.
Thank you, Ken. As you know, there is nothing like the Congressional Cup here in Long Beach. You've won it before. It's great to have you in the broadcast. We're truly honored. Thanks very much, Ken Reed from North Sails, and thanks to Josh Wijan and Pearson Potts here in the booth. Thanks to all of you watching live on the Belmont Pier and also live on YouTube and Facebook. There's a Junior Congressional Cup coming up back on shore where the sailors get to race with the kids, future Con Cup stars of tomorrow. Anyway, I'm Tucker Thompson. Thanks, guys, very much. The finals of the 57th Annual Congressional Cup begin tomorrow here in Long Beach, California, and we hope you'll be right here with us.
Feel love.